It's the Papa Says Podcast.
With your host.
Papa Says.
And Brass Lantern. Good morning,
Good evening,
wherever you may be coming from.
and wherever you may be going to,
We wish you safe journeys
and safe passage
and welcome you
to the Papa South Podcast.
and the Brass Lantern broadcast
And yes, the Brass Lantern broadcast. It's the Papa South Podcast.
and the Brass Lantern broadcast
We have friends.
everywhere.
Welcome one, welcome all. We welcome you to the Papa South podcast, and
the Brass Lantern broadcast.
that's right. We're going from coast to coast, continent to continent, here from Canada and Australia. We got a bit of a jam-packed show for you today. Got our Twitter files. We got a great little fart story. We're also talking some Magic Riri and Andor Emmy. Got some trailer reviews for you, and of course, we'll be telling you what we thought about Predator Killers after our live stream last week, our little watch party. Had a lot of fun with that. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, totally enjoyed it.
It was so good.
Yeah, definitely one of the better animated features I've seen in a while. Brass Lanterns had a little time off. What have you been up to in the last week?
Went to a craft show, did an embroidery class, just been relaxing, just having a
Sounds
good
good.
time.
So, how far away is that from where you are? Is it like, are you taking transit? Are you flying? How far away?
It's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, that's a bit of a
Not
hike.
too long.
That's for sure. First, Papa says, "Don't want to with the gas prices here. I don't want to be doing any sort of 3-hour hike anytime soon." But good to see you back. Glad you're refreshed, and here's to a good show ahead. On my end, hey, Papa South landed a new job start next week, and yeah, wow. And we do have the newest member of Team South that we'd like to introduce everybody to. This is Snuffleupagus. This is a little cutie here.
Oh, she's so
quick-
sleepy.
I know. Sorry to wake you up, cutie. But I just had to show her off to the world. Good little story. Well, kind of, sort of. She was a stray. We took her to the vet to see if she was chipped to find her owners. Nothing going on that. Put posts out through the Humane Society, all sorts of posts online. It's been about a month. Nobody's claimed her, so looks like Papa South has a very little lady in his life, and totally loving a little bit of Snuffleupagus in my life here. And yeah, again, looking forward to a really, really good show. And looks like we got someone in the chat. Hello from podcast Patti, my best friend Papa South. We'll give a little show there. Hey, Hi, Patti. Love you very much. Thanks for joining in. I know you had like a super long day at work today. Wishing you many good rests. Hopefully, you're enjoying a little snackaroo and enjoying some time with your pup, May, and your kitty Oreo, and keep them comfortable in the heat in Michigan, my second home, my home away from home. Love you very much, Patti. Thanks for dropping in, and looking forward to a little wrestling pay-per-view tomorrow. It came on today, but you're working, so we're gonna watch that together tomorrow. Night of Champions. Heard it was a good one, and see you that then. Have a great night, Patti. Love you very much. All right. So again, lots on the docket today. We got Twitter files. We got trailer reviews, and we got some topics at hand. Last but not least on that one being the discussion of Ironheart. For any of you guys that saw it, my condolences. Real quick thoughts on it.
Oh, it was hard to get through. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but they're a slog to get through.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of old humor in it. You can tell that it wasn't filmed recently. Like they've just been pushing it back.
Yeah, 100% on that.
Yeah.
It was definitely missing the written by Spike Lee kind of thing at the beginning. Yep. For those of you that have seen Boys in the Hood and love that, you're gonna love Ironheart. But for any of you that watched the that show with RuPaul on it, you're also gonna love it. But that's not here or there. So you ready to get going?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. So first on the Twitter files, a little story about. No, that's not there. It's at the bottom. Yeah, it's at the bottom. Here we go. Share. Simpsons producer says episode featuring the death of Marge is not canon, as the show doesn't even have canon. My understanding about this one is it is part of their season finale that Marge Simpson will no longer be with us. And as far as I know, it's not just a season finale, it is a broadcast finale. We think back to the Connors, where they had Dan pass away, many other type of shows where they have main characters die. And so I guess my question to you is, how you feeling about a Marge Simpson death in The Simpsons?
I can't believe Homer outlived her.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, with all the beer, all the unhealthy eating, the occasional cigar, it is, and
all of the brain damage.
That's right, and the numerous other things that could have killed them along the way. It is quite amazing that Homer did outlive her.
I usually stop watching after season 10 if I'm doing a rewatch of The Simpsons.
Oh, it has been that long since I have watched The Simpsons. Throw me an episode from season 10 just to kind of...
Oh, it's hard to remember. I haven't watched it recently. I don't know. I can remember season 7 episodes. It kind of, I don't know, it gets hard to differentiate between the episodes after about season 6 or 7. Like all of the really good stuff is in the earlier seasons.
Like most shows, for sure. Although Papa South over the years kind of changed his thinking. I remember the last one I watched was the line, I forget what the line was, but then Skinner replies like, "Hey, welcome to Dick Cheney's America." And at the time I was just all like, you can't say nothing bad about the Bush administration. So I was like, click. And then I think I did wind up watching the movie after that, but still fun to reminisce on some of the old videos. When I was growing up, there was a show called the Tracy Ullman Show. She was an entertainer / singer from the 70s. For anybody that's up and getting up there themselves, and they just started off as like little 5-minute shorts. Definitely the animation was a lot more rough. I'm sure you've seen it. Like maybe you haven't seen the shorts, but I'm sure you've seen some of the earlier cuts of The Simpsons. But so Marge death, I'm finding a little bit gimmicky. Yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have killed off Homer first.
100%. Or Mr. Burns.
Yeah, Mr. Burns is 100 and something years old by now.
That's just it, you know. Well, she outlived Maud, so I guess that says something.
Oh, rest in peace, Maud Flanders. That's a sad death.
That was, I shed many a tear over that. I don't know. I guess we'll see how the fandom reacts to it. Like I said, myself, I think it's a little gimmicky. I think they could have done something a little bit more special for, maybe the Simpsons hit the lottery or something, but they probably did that in the Connors as well, but that's neither here or there. But that is what is happening on The Simpsons. Marge Simpsons, you will be missed. I'm sure if they ever make another Simpsons movie, they'll figure out a way to bring you back. But, you know, and for all those kids watching those other sites with all other sorts of pictures of Marge that shouldn't be on there, that's your last chance. That's your last chance to see your kids. But, yeah, sorry, Marge, but it has been fun. Not to be confused with Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So I know you are an Elder Scrolls kind of gal. Not too much into the fighting games, if I remember.
Yes.
Fantastic. So let me ask you this then. There are all sorts of, man, these tabs are just all over the place. So you might have to do a couple of song and dances tonight for me. And oh, here we go. Now it's gone back to the top. Okay. So again, you're an Elder Scrolls kind of girl, not a kind of a fighting girl. I know Marvel Rivals over the last few months has definitely been the game to play. I've seen all sorts of streaming sites. Big one, Den of Nerds, they talk about Marvel Rivals all the time. And they're introducing all sorts of characters. So knowing how I know how you feel about Jean Grey, would you be playing a little Marvel Rivals knowing that they're adding Jean Grey to the mix?
I'd definitely try and give it a go.
Fantastic.
It's a nice character design they've got there.
Definitely. Now, I don't know if that's just a drawing in or the character designs, but their character designs are pretty dang close to a lot of the drawings I've seen. She does
it's a
look
badass
good.
looking Blade as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a beefed up Blade. That's for sure. Yeah, you know, like I said, lots of people playing it, lots of people loving it, and I'm sure if they, you know, they throw her in some cool powers, they make it look good on screen. It'd definitely be playable. Papa South was a big quarter popper of the Street Fighters and Mortal Kombats. Not played Marvel Rivals as I haven't had a system since San Andreas, I guess, but yeah, definitely would give it a go.
Yeah, so would I.
I have a funny feeling though,
just to see what the hype is all about.
And that's just it. Now, from like, you know, all the screenplay that I have seen on it and such, not gonna lie, it does just look like your average fighting game. Just, you know, skins are different. But if they jazz it up a little bit and they make Phoenix Jean Grey look good, Papa South came across it, I'd pick up a controller. Might even give Blade a go. For sure. What I do hope, it's like not one of those DLCs or something like that where you got to pay for every time they introduce new characters. That's one thing I hate about gaming nowadays. Do they do that with stuff like Elder Scrolls where it's like you got to pay for upgrades?
No, you definitely don't have to. There's a huge modding community for games like, you know, Skyrim, Fallout, the Oblivion, for example. Like, they're modders go crazy with making free stuff that you can download for it.
Nice. And then same for Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
What's the craziest mod that you've seen on Elder Scrolls, or most entertaining?
For Elder Scrolls Skyrim, there's people add in full characters from Lord of the Rings. You can
Nice.
play the whole battles of Middle Earth. It's pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah, it just adds in
Now,
hundreds of extra hours of gameplay.
yeah, no doubt of that. Now, have you ever seen a character on Elder Scrolls with a mod that what's the word I'm looking for? That would be out of place for the setting.
Yeah, definitely. People have added lightsaber mods into Skyrim and Oblivion. So instead of having a sword, you can have a lightsaber.
Nice. You know what? One day I'm gonna have to try this Elder Scroll. This Papa said gets up there, and
it's a series of games. So there's 5 games in the Elder Scrolls series.
That's a lot of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever completed an Elder Scrolls game?
Have I?
Or is it a game that you? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've completed Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim. Like hundreds of hours of gameplay. Yeah.
I have no doubt of that. That she is our pro with the Elder Scrolls, and she's a very knowledgeable brass lantern. So, and what is your tax return coming in anytime so you can get that game computer set up? And
that should be in like 3 weeks.
Getting closer.
Yep.
And again, once you got that gaming computer, she'll be doing some live streaming with that, and we'll make sure we're 100% support behind you, as you've just been fantastic with Joe. So definitely appreciate that. All right, next.
Why of the Damned in the chat said it's on PC.
Oh.
Characters are free, skins are not. It's for Marvel Rivals.
Welcome, Why of the Damned. Thank you for giving this show. And there we go. Here's a free, skins or not. Fair enough. And he did say it was on the PC?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I guess the question would be is it available on MacBook? As Papa said, he hasn't had a PC in some time, but maybe it's something I should look into, expand my horizons a little. And again, Why of the Dam, appreciate you popping and appreciate the long time support as well. You are an honorary member of Team South, and thank you for joining in. Hopefully you enjoy today's show with myself and Brass Lantern. Moving on with Spider-Man, brand new day around the corner. A couple updates on that. Brand new day. Cinematographer has been confirmed that Hulk will appear via new photo collection. I'll be honest, I haven't even clicked on that. I'm almost afraid to. We'll see if it loads up, and if it does, great. And there's the Spider Boy, Tom Holland. Let's see if we can. So I guess this is just some
Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk.
Do you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you there. Pop South is just not a Mark Ruffalo fan as it is. I think he's one of those people who the old saying is "shut up and dribble," and then he should just stick to his acting. But agreed, he's goofy. Are you familiar with the old detective series Columbo?
No.
You have to ask Dad about that one. I'll be honest. If they ever did a remake of that, Mark Ruffalo would be my guy. But definitely is not a good Hulk. Apparently, they are bringing him back as the Rage Hulk, which will be a nice change from the is it Professor Hulk? Is that what they call him? Yeah,
I think so.
I think for most of us, after his cameos in Daredevil, like he wasn't even great in Endgame, but I think the Daredevil kind of killed the Hulk for us. But again, nice to see him coming back as the Rage Hulk. But I agree with you. Would you have preferred like maybe an Ed Norton or Eric Bana come back as the Hulk?
Yeah, I liked Eric Banner as the Hulk.
Yeah,
And Norton, he was good too.
Bad. Yeah,
better than Ruffalo.
100%. I'll take
They
anything.
took the
over
role a little
Ruffalo
bit more seriously, I think.
I agree, and I think that especially like when you're a scientist, you know,
She-Hulk really killed the Hulk. That's from Why of the Damned.
Ain't that the truth, brother? This is like I was saying earlier, like they really goofed him in that, and She-Hulk's not the only, or the Hulk's not the only thing she kind of killed. Daredevil lost all credibility in that show for me too, and I know not Johnny Cox. What's his name? Charlie Cox. Johnny Cox would have been the bad guy from RoboCop 1. Yeah, Charlie Cox is saying like, hey, there's still possibilities him and She-Hulk could get back together, and if that's the case, I think I'm done. But in related news, another person to be joining the Spider-Man Brand New Day, a little Mr. Bernthal as the Punisher. He'll be reprising his role as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. How you feeling about that, Brassland?
He killed that role. Like, he did such a good job. Be nice to see him again as the Punisher.
100%, absolutely agreed.
The episodes of Daredevil that he was in were the best episodes as well.
The Daredevil Born Again or Netflix?
Oh yeah, the Netflix one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was even a treat to see him at the end of the Born Again, but I wouldn't disagree with you at all. So, being that this is going to be like maybe like a PG-13 film, I wish I had a picture to bring it up right now. Have you ever seen the Punisher War Machine suit before? No. So just imagine a War Machine suit, but like with the Punisher logos on it. My worry is definitely a cool looking outfit. My worry though is, what's your chances you think he winds up getting an upgrade like that? Seeing, got the Spider-Man tech and the Tony Stark tech, so they can get him away from the machine guns and such, and start giving them lasers and that to bring it down to
that'd
PG
be a bad
level.
choice.
Do you think it's like if you have to go from 0 to 100%, what do you think the possibilities are on that?
It's pretty high with how they've been going with, teching up all the characters.
Yeah. I'm going to
it's
agree
like
with you on that.
Massive part of Punisher's backstory is that he's, a weapons expert.
Yeah, 100% agreed. And honestly, I have very little faith that they are not going to not give him the lasers and such. And if they do that, then I don't want to say Punisher's done, but that said,
it won't be the Punisher we love.
No. And by that, she does not mean the Dolph Lundgren iteration from the early 90s, but I'd have him come back as an old man Punisher. I think there's something to work with there. I'm not sitting at the writer's table at the MCU, so I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my big worry, being that it is like a PG-13 film, that they're going to muck that up somehow. If they do that, do you honestly think there's any turning back, or do you think?
I mean, they could make, like another season of the Punisher show where it goes back to the way it was and give it a higher, like, maturity rating. But I doubt they would do that if they're going to change it.
Why have the damn? If they want to give him a laser rifle or something, go ahead. Hey, to each their own. If they give him a laser rifle, I would just at least hope it burns a hole right through somebody, kind of like have like some fast lightsaber damage, like somebody getting cut in half. And sure, they don't have to bleed. It can be cauterized. Is that the word I'm looking for? I would take that. And it's important to remember Brand New Day will be mood after Doomsday Wars. This is very, very true with the whole reboot of the MCU. I'm sure there'll be a whole new 616 or whatever they're going to decide to call it. Sure, we're going to get some Battle World in there and such. And you're 100% bang on with that. Great point. Why of the damn? And again, thanks for participating with us. Do appreciate it. All right. That down. Speaking of, still in the world of the MCU, did you ever see Brave New World Brass Lantern?
Nope.
You are not missing anything. It's a hack job of better late than never. I wonder if he's referring to Have You Seen the Brave New World? But yeah, let me tell you, if that's the case, it's better never on that one. Yeah, it's definitely you could tell like all the reshoots, it was poorly put back together, and just like every movie, it has a popcorn moment or two, but it's seen a little success in the last, let's call this the last few weeks here. Captain America, Brave New World gained 750 million viewing minutes after its streaming premiere on Disney Plus last month. The movie underperformed at the worldwide box office, earning just under $415 million. Not quite Andor numbers, but 750 million views is good. That said, I know we only have to click in for a few minutes before it's counted as a view.
Yeah.
Do you think this was more like curiosity, just about people hearing that was that bad? So like that was kind of like what it was for me. I heard it was that bad. I was never going to pay the money in a theater to see it, but
yeah, it could be that. And Disney don't really put that much new stuff on their platform, so I think they brought it out. People are like, oh, this is new, let's give that a go.
Fantastic point. Great point, Lantern. In Disney, if anybody just happens to be secretly watching from Disney, yeah, that's a great point. You guys need a lot more new content on there, because there really is not a whole lot to watch. And to Lantern's point, kind of like, hey, it's Sunday, we're having supper, who wants to watch a movie together? Again, it's free. I honestly,
all it costs you is your time.
That's just it. And you could always turn it off after the first 10 minutes. You pause it when you want, go out for a smoke, go out for a drink, go for whatever you fancy, right? And again, if you're eating a plate full of food, you're probably not really paying a whole lot of attention to it. Again, Papa South was not a fan whatsoever, but that's neither here or there. Do you know, like, how you feeling about Sam Wilson as being Cap anyways?
I'd probably have a better opinion if I had watched the movie.
Or worse.
I don't hate the decision, but they didn't need to do that.
No, like, I know a lot of people like, hey, Bucky Burns or whatever. Honestly, like myself, if you're gonna get rid of Cap, I just would have left Cap alone until they were ready to bring back Cap as Cap. Not a big fan of passing on mantles to other characters. But
Yeah.
again,
That seems to be a trend with Marvel now.
Well, that's just it, and they have Captain Britain. Oh, and you know what? My apologies, real quickly. For the better late than never, it's our friend Stony H. I thought that was by the damn. So Stony H, much appreciated. Always love them. Good morning messages. Stony H to pretty much all of his followers. We'll send out a good morning message to every single one of them every single day. And it's always a great way to start the day. Stony, it is appreciated. Always look forward to every single one each morning. And why of the damned? Bucky was sidelined and emasculated. Hate it.
Yep.
Okay, that was just about to ask. What is your thoughts on that?
Sebastian Stan was such a good casting for Bucky as well. They could have done a lot more with his character.
And I'll be honest, I hate that little. At least was a Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How he had that little bit of a bromance going on with Falcon there, and I do believe he was a senator in Thunderbolts, which I haven't seen yet, or New Avengers, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what? We'll reconvene on this kind of topic because it'll be interesting to see, because like Thunderbolts underperformed big time in the theaters, and then we will see how their numbers does once it's on Disney Plus. I would suspect
that would be a good comparison.
Yeah, I would suspect it definitely will have at least as many views as Brave New World, if not a lot more. But again, it's Sunday dinner. Let's put on a movie. Let's put something in the background while we're all playing Yahtzee or Skip-Bo or whatever. We'll put it in the corner screen while we're playing Elder Scrolls picture. But
let me just put this on while I fold my laundry.
That's just it. It's a lot of laundry to go. So feeling parched. We're damn well near 30 degrees, or a little over 30. Don't trust the weather network with what it says.
Bunch of liars.
Yeah, but you're in the middle of winter right now, so. Well, we lost Lantern there. It's time for Papa South to do a little song and dance, listen to Vogue. Oh, I think I see Lantern coming back online there.
Dropped out for a second.
All good. There's just enjoying a good sip of the Aussie juice there. At least you're not getting I'm just hoping it's not no green milk from Mark Hamill.
No. They had like the blue milk in Andor. That was weird.
Yeah.
Cyril was having his breakfast cereal at dinner time with his blue milk on it.
You got it. Cyril eating cereal. Because we had like so much to cover. There's like any streams, like sometimes I just like drop topics. Otherwise, like we're going to be a 10-hour stream. Don't get me wrong, I could do this all night with a Lantern, but one of the product placements for the Fantastic Four was like a blue milk. And I was just like, it was like blueberry flavor or something. I could deal with it, but I had a picture of Pedro Pascal on the bottle, so I definitely pass, and we will talk a little bit more about Pedro Pascal in a little while. And oh boy, there we go, desktop. But before we go on any further, just a real quick word from our sponsor. This should pop up momentarily. Are you within 40 miles of the Egerton, Ohio area? Your storage unit cleaned? You got any scrattle? Fence removed? Garage cleaned out? Handiwork around? call our good friend, reliable Rick Richardson with Triple R Recycling. Know him personally. He works super hard. I follow him on Facebook. All sorts of amazing posts from all of his clients. I always appreciate them. Economy's tough right now in Ohio. Friend could always use the help. So again, if you are in the Egerton area, 40-mile radius, and you got any type of, like I said, scrap metal, storage unit needs to be cleaned, garage needs cleaning out, fence removal, anything, reliable Rick Richardson is our guy. I know lots of people who got little businesses going on. I wouldn't put a single one on if I didn't trust them with my heart and soul. You can reach at junk_man4060 at yahoo.com. Again, that is junk_man4060 at yahoo.com. American made, American strong. That's reliable Rick Richardson, Triple R Recycling. Again, check them out if you are in need of any of them services. And Rick, we always appreciate you giving us your support as well. So as we move on, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. Did you ever see Disney's Christopher Robin with Ewan McGregor? Oh, look at that.
It's ringing a bell, but I'm not sure.
So it was a movie about Christopher Robin. He's all grown up, and his daughter kind of discovers the land of the Winnie the Pooh. Honestly, there's a lot of remakes or such where, like, you know, they're older now, and it's the kid's turn. One of the few that touches the heart. Really, really good watch if you ever get a chance to. And now we are looking at Disney bringing out, look at that face. How can you say no to that face? A new Winnie the Pooh project is reportedly
it's
in
kind of
the
creepy.
It's, with the bright background, it's not too bad, but like if it was like nighttime, it was just like poking over the side of your bed.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, that would be terrifying. Quick little side note: when we were younger, my mom got me and my brother these like ceramic clowns for Christmas.
Why?
Well, it was like a clown doll with a ceramic face, and we just, I don't know. It wasn't too long after watching the first Poltergeist where they had the little like creepy clown thing that came out from under the bed, and I'll tell you, it was petrifying. What was even more petrifying was the fact that it played Barry Manilow's "Here Comes the Clowns." Yeah.
That
Barry
sounds
Manilow.
scarring. Mentally scarred.
I lots of therapy after that, but so
I think they should make Winnie the Pooh's eyes a bit bigger and it won't look so menacing.
Yeah, great point. I don't know if that's just like stock footage from something else that they had in the past, but all sorts of time to work on remodeling. If they can fix Sonic a few months before they put it out, I'm sure they can fix Winnie the Pooh. But do you think it's time to try to bring back something kind of a little more wholesome? Do you think Winnie the Pooh still has any type of relevance in today's market?
Still a little bit of relevance. Like people still, I saw at my local department store, they had like Winnie the Pooh pajamas and things like that. So people are still into him.
Good stuff.
It'd be a good way to get the next generation into it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that there's enough adult parents out there that grew up with Winnie the Pooh that could bring it back. I think it's a better option than things like Elmo, Powerpuff Girls or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they make a whole lot. Obviously they make shows for kids, right? But I still think it's a better option than Blue's Clues or anything else like that.
Yeah. I loved Blue's Clues.
Well, I guess that was probably a little bit past my time. Again, happy to see Winnie the Pooh coming back. Think that maybe when it's like, I know it's a long way away, and this is just take my hand in speculation town. Do you think that movie could do bank?
Depends on how it's made.
True. I guess also depends on the budget. I know you're a fan of animated features. I would think an animated feature like that would be a lot cheaper to do than, like, let's say, your major blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
Also, all sorts of merch potential on that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Now, that said, I know Disney did I don't want to say lose the rights where it's just like it becomes public domain. I know Winnie the Pooh is in public domain. They did make those Winnie the Pooh horror movies over the last couple of years, and
I've been meaning to watch them. They looked good.
Yeah, definitely. They made bank. They did well in the theater. So yeah, that's something. Don't got kids or anything like that, but I'd still. I don't know if I'd go to the theater because that would probably be a little bit creepy. But that said, when it came out on Disney Plus, I would definitely give that a go. One movie I have absolutely no interest in. This is a quick first look at it coming out. It's only one picture, so nothing crazy to get excited about. But the 10-hour Avatar 3 Fire and Ash. This is just like the first look at Courage in Spider. Doesn't look like much of a spider to me, but for those that are a fan of the Avatar movies, that's your first look. So I'm assuming that this person, have you seen? You seen the first Avatar, correct?
He's in the second one. I think he's in the first one as well. Maybe. I don't remember the first one very well. Such a basic movie. They were just harping on about the technology they used to make it. And yeah, it was a big deal back when the first Avatar came out, but the storyline was so basic.
Agreed 100%. I've seen the first one, wasn't impressed. I'll be honest, I wasn't even like impressed with how they looked. I was just like, I don't think we had a PS5 at the time, but I was just like, this looks like something that could be like on a PS5 or a PS6. And I didn't like the character design. And again, I didn't like the story. It was, like you said, very, very basic. And with the run times that these have, definitely, like, it wasn't enough to fish me in for the second one, which is Way of the Water or something like that. And
as Way of the Dam just said, they're both fairly boring.
There we go. Good eyes, Lantern. Again, I haven't seen the second one, but Way of the Damned, I am going to take your word for it. I'm going to take Lantern's word for it as well. It's not something I could see investing my time into. And not that I have like any articles to pull up right now, but James Cameron, I have found in the last number of years anyways, is crotchety the word I'm looking for? He's, I don't know. He sounds like an old man, and the more I hear from him, the less I want to see, like everybody else, like of the Terminators and that. But I'll be honest, I think he lost me at Titanic. But the only part I just like enjoyed about Titanic was like that moment, because I did see it in the theater with my buddy, and I was just like, to all you Y&R fans out there, I just stood up like, that's Victor Newman, oh my god. And we're wishing him a speedy recovery with his cancer diagnosis, of course. So there was just one picture, still no interest. Or sorry, I won't put words in your mouth. Do you have any interest in seeing Fire and Ash?
I'll probably watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus, because it'll be the only new thing that they're bringing out. But I won't go and see it at the cinema.
Fair enough. So we'll put that up there with Brave New World and all those other like Thunderbolts and that. That's yeah. Movies are expensive. So let's say I won't even say IMAX 3D. So let's just say you're going to go see a movie, popcorn, drink. What are you spending in Australia?
$60 dues.
$60
$60. Yeah, for your ticket and snacks.
Yeah, do you not? That's about it for Canada. Or dollars fairly close. So yeah, it's about $60 here, and I'm kind of curious if they will wind up coming out with an Avatar popcorn bucket.
What would that even be?
It'd just be a big bag of money that you put your popcorn into. But did want to do a segment tonight on all sorts of different merch coming out. Like everybody's coming out with a popcorn bucket. Like I remember the first fancy one I saw was when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out. They had the Ecto one, which if I see that on eBay, so I might give it a chance. But it's like, do your theaters have all sorts of merch? Like theaters here, we got stuffies and everything now. Like
we sometimes get those, like the tin popcorn buckets that just have like the movie banner on the front of it, but that's about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's all right. Like I said, here, at least in Canada, the AMCs and that, they got all sorts of merchandise, and it almost feels like you're going to Toys R Us before you even get to the concession stand. If any execs out there are watching, families are struggling enough to take away the merch. They can't afford it. That's my 2 cents on that. But speaking of animated features, I know you are not a fan of animated features becoming live action. Would that be fair enough to say?
The exception of the One Piece TV show that they did on Netflix, I did quite like that.
Never did see it. It's worth watch?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'll have to give that a go. We seem to got a lot of the same taste in the movies and that, so I'll give that a go for sure. So it's nice to see when a studio decides that, hey, maybe we do not need to do a live action remake of this. After more than 20 years, Warner Brothers has given up on making a live action Akira movie. Warner Brothers officially let go of the movie rights and will be back to its publishers, Kodansha. I honestly think that's just amazing news. This is a movie I've seen. I bet I've probably seen it, no lie, about 50 times. I haven't seen it in the recent years. I do have a couple of the Akira action figures. Not to say that they could make this a live action film without much difficulty at all, but I think I'm in your camp where sometimes it's just nice to leave something as animation. It's easier to get away with more fantastical type scenes. Motorbike's legendary. How you?
Why Have the Damned made a really good comment just then too. Or two actually.
We dodged a huge bullet since Taika Waititi was directing. Not gonna disagree at all. Fabulous point. Now that said, I'm probably one of the few people who actually enjoyed Thor Ragnarok.
No, I liked Thor Ragnarok as well.
But everything else, he did Love and Thunder, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, disaster.
Yeah, terrible.
I agree. The animation to live is action craze is a disgrace. I 100%. We'll touch on it a bit later. One of the ones that like makes me just cringe all the time are the the Transformer movies, the Michael Bay's. He also did the Ninja Turtles as well.
Mhm.
Movies.
Video game adaptations to live action. Sick of it.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah. Now, again, if they're listening across the seven seas, there, if you just want to re-release this in the theaters, I'm positive there was a theatrical run on this when I was younger. I'd definitely be up for that. Be good. Be good. And yeah, watched a lot of anime growing up. Haven't seen a whole ton of it in the last while. Have been catching a little bit of it. Bleach as a recommendation from Brass Lantern. Is that your favorite anime show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
It's not bad, folks. If you get a chance to check out Bleach. If I remember correctly, there was a couple of different Bleaches on there, though.
Yeah, you've got the original episodes and then the new episodes.
New episodes. And again, there was a live action one as well, was there not?
Yeah, live action movie. It was not good.
No doubt of that. She's got great taste, folks. So get a chance to check out Bleach. Definitely worth your while. Now, speaking of animation, interesting little decision by Disney. And this one I'm definitely in support of. Jared Bush teases a return to the animation at Walt Disney Animation. Right now, we have 2D artists who are doing some bunker amazing things. I'll leave it at that. Two of the ones I grew up with, obviously, Pinocchio and Snow White, not the Zegler version. Lion King was kind of, and Aladdin was getting a little bit past my time. Aladdin for Sega Genesis, chef's kiss.
I think they've realized how much money they're throwing away making live actions of these movies.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And some of the 3D modeling, I guess we've seen over the years, like your Toy Stories, your Wallies, Monsters Inc. Like for Papa South, not that I'd be sitting down to watch one of those. Like I've seen them, but like it's not something like I gotta see it. It's not my cup of tea. How do you feel about them potentially going back to the 2D animation?
That's fine. I think it's a really good choice.
Yeah, agreed. Do you think it would drive
it ages well?
Yeah, there is something to be said about the nostalgia of seeing something 2D. Do you think this would drive more parents to bring their kids to the theaters? Do you think kids, I personally think whether it's 2D or 3D, as long as it's animated, kids would be into it.
Yeah.
I think this is something yeah. Okay, answered my question.
Although the cost of living is so high, I don't think parents will be taking their kids to the movies every, probably not even once a month at this rate.
Oh God, once a month. I could only imagine trying
so much money.
True. Maybe with any type of luck, some of these will be released on Disney Plus to help boost their content. But I couldn't agree with you more that parents can't afford to get them out once a month. But I think this is a good and strong decision from the people at Disney, and let's hope they keep it up. We'll see how long that lasts when they realize they have to pay fair wages for a good amount of labor. That's a great point. Why damn. That said, I know a lot of their labor comes from the Asian market. So So we'll see how they balance it out. Papa Sith personally is pretty excited for that, and keep our fingers crossed that they come out with some good quality product for us. There's never any promises that they will, but definitely I take some 2D animation again. I think it's when they came out that Tarzan film, the Phil Collins soundtrack. This is when I was kind of like, this doesn't feel like the Disney of old. To your point about it aging well, like, sure these have aged well for some people, but like, Pinocchio, Snow White, classics, there's just a certain feel to it. One thing I would like to see them do if they go back to 2D animation is, could they please try to find a way of doing some music that feels more like it is from the Silver Age of theater. I don't need a pop star in every single one of my animated features. But, yeah. All right. That said, let's talk a little bit about some Sony Spider-Verse. Not necessarily the movie, but what has come out of all of their movies. Like Venom, Craven, Null, and Madam Web. Sony has reportedly put a hold on all of its live-action Spider-Man spin-off projects. This includes the planned film centered around Null, which I know at the time was a huge deal. I think I've read further articles since that not only have they been put on hold, but at this point they have been canceled altogether. Good decision, bad decision.
Oh, I think Why Have the Dam said it pretty good in the comments.
Yes, the Sonyverse, the universe without a direction or a clue. Not going to disagree with you, brother. I don't know what they're. I guess that would also include anything to do with it's Morbin time with Morbius as well. Jared Leto.
I thought Madam Web was hilarious. Like, it wasn't supposed to be a funny movie, but I had a good laugh at that.
I didn't know that you saw that. Did you see it in the theater? Or was it
on
a platform? I
watched it on a platform.
Fair enough. You probably saved yourself some good money doing that. Yeah. I think this is. I do think it's a good decision, seeing that they have made some very poorly made movies with crappy stories, including the Greenpeace, Craven the Hunter, apparently he's out of the running for the next James Bond film, but that'll be on a different stream. I guess all that is left for Sony, minus their animated Spider-Verse, which has done bank. People have really, really enjoyed those films. I believe the third one comes out sometime in 2026. At this point, I guess all they really have left to do is like make deals with the MCU, as they do own the rights to these characters. As they would put in sports terms, are they buyers or sellers? I believe that they will be sellers. That said, I don't believe that they will ever sell Spider-Man and or Venom. They're just cards that are just too huge to hold on to. Do you think there's potential for them to sell off other characters, such as Null and the Madam Web and Craven the Hunter?
I mean, there's potential, but they'd be quite stupid to chop up all of their IPs like that.
Would you think at the end of the day, as long as they hold on to Spider-Man and Venom, it wouldn't really matter if they did sell off those characters, because without Spider-Man, like even let's just say Venom, right? Even if you got rid of Venom, without Spider-Man, those characters are pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right on that. I just don't think it'd be a wise decision. You can only tell Green Goblin Spider-Man stories for so long.
Yeah, I guess this is true. I'm something of a Green Goblin myself. Just have to throw that in there. But no, you're right. I'll be honest. Green Goblin. I know I still told the story about Defoe on the last stream with the Resonator does her music. Again, his links are in the descriptions below. So are Brass Lanterns, her Instagram, her Twitter. Eventually, when she gets her streaming going, her links will be in there too. Just quick shout outs to everybody. Podcast Patti, her links in the descriptions as well. Same with Technotions. And you know what? Real quickly, I know we're not talking about it right now, but big shout out to Neon Tardis. He was the one that got me into streams. I'll be streaming with him tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock Pacific Time, and 5 o'clock UK time.
5 a.m. Australia time.
Thank you very, very kindly.
I'll join in though, because I'm not working tomorrow, so I'll be there.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing you there. His streams are definitely worth checking out. And again, his channel and X Twitter account are in the description below for sure. So yeah, back to our friends at the Sonyverse. Yeah, Papa South is saying I think they're going to be sellers, not with Spider-Man and probably not with Venom, but again, maybe that would give them a chance to be like, well, now that you have those characters, we can up the price of you renting Spider-Man from us. But,
yeah, Why Have the Dams made another good point in the comments as well.
It's not coming out till June 4th, 2027. It will flop on principle. Ooh. Well, do you know that is what is great about the Papa Said podcast, Brass Lantern broadcast. And for all those real quickly wondering, like you see me moving around a lot. I'm in a different home right now. I'm just trying to find my comfortable spot here. I think it's going to do bank. The other two have done bank. I think Love and Him, a lot of people in the animated world are loving this Miles Morales. And of course, in the animated world, you can do a lot more fantastical stuff. Poe Dameron, his name, Oscar Isaac. The last one did a pretty good job with the Spider-Man 2099, I want to say it is. I think there's a lot of potential for it to do bank. With that said, Why Have the Damned, like everybody else, it's your dollar, your popcorn. If you're thinking, this is going to flop, I'm not interested, more power to you. One thing I don't do on this channel or well, I won't even do it online, right? You know, if that's your take, that's your take, and you're definitely entitled to that take. And again, you've always been a good supporter, so appreciate the interaction, and that's what makes conversation so amazing. Oh, I have a second here. Yeah, but Spider-Verse is going to be late, so at that point, no one will care. That's a really, really good point. I also think it depends on what we have going on at the box office at the time. If there are some other franchises or even just like new creations that are out that have a lot of hype. I definitely agree with you that Spider-Verse could be buried, and maybe it's something that just goes straight to a Sony platform or a Netflix.
I think he
if
was
there's not,
referring to when we were talking about selling off parts of Sony Spider-Man.
oh, okay, great point, Lantern. Yeah, do you know what? Personally, like Papa South has checked out on it. Agree with you 100% on that one. And then there was another one here. It's not coming out till June 4th, 20. Oh, I think I already got that one. Yeah. Okay, it's because I did the comments backwards. There we go. I appreciate it. And great catch, Lantern, with him talking about the other thing there. So I guess we will see what happens with those characters. Like I said, I think the one that they're maybe should still give some thought to doing is Null, just because there was a lot of potential, or maybe maybe MCU's already contacted them, said they were doing this Doom thing, so Null's going to be relevant, save yourself some money. Maybe they're doing them a favor there. Now, although this isn't the right article, I should probably just skip it altogether. But still, I'll just bring it up on point and talk about it. Okay. I thought I bookmarked another one. Jude Law was saying before Skeleton Crew dropped, he was nervous about Star Wars fandom reaction. It turned out to be one of Disney Star Wars best. And do you know what? Like, love it or hate it, its numbers, like Andor, did grow over time. Unfortunately,
I still haven't watched
crippled
it.
by the. Neither have I. I'm a Jude Law guy. It couldn't be worse than Ironheart, so maybe worth a slow watch. But so it has actually been renewed now for season 2. I guess, nice to have a bit of a different take on. I'm a fan of different takes on different franchises and such. I just saw why the Dams chimed in. It'll probably be fine. I just checked the original 2018, and the second was 2000. I'm old, so my times are beeped. No, do you know what? You're still right, Why of the Dam. Like, we'll talk about it later. But if you think about the Batman, right? It's going to be almost 8 years since the Batman came out, and they're doing a sequel. And sometimes if you just wait too long, then there's really no point in bringing it out at all. So
Doesn't help that we had a pandemic in the middle there as well.
No, absolutely. You're right about that. And amazingly, during that pandemic, the Batman did 700 million, which is just amazing. How you feeling about season? Even though you haven't watched the first one, all good with the season 2 of
Well, it must have been decent if they're renewing it for a second season, because there was a lot of people wanting a second season of The Acolyte, and they're not doing that.
Ain't that the truth? I thought I know they're not. I know they originally agreed to the second season, but then they kind of took a look and maybe not. Maybe not. And maybe it's just a different market for them to utilize as well, right? Like, maybe get more younger viewers in there. Not sure. Like, I haven't seen it. Not sure how it's how it's supposed to tie into canon or anything. Spoiler alert for you, Lantern, and anybody else watching it there. I know Jude Law does pull out the lightsaber there, and apparently it was like some form of a Jedi at some point. But maybe worth exploring just a little bit there.
I'll put it on the watch list.
put it on the watch list after
Mm.
Brave New World and Avatar and Winnie the Pooh and
Oh no, I'll watch it before that.
fair enough. Things I don't think I will be watching, and I have a funny feeling why the damned and yourself. None of us are going to be watching this. Right when you thought you were safe from another Michael Bay Transformers. From my time to shine, hello. Michael Bay is officially returning to direct a new Transformers.
It's like Fast and the Furious movies at this point. I'm not sure how many there are. Too many.
I think there's at least 6 of them. Did you see any of them in the theater, or how many of them have you seen, if any?
The ones with, what's his name, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I think he was
the
probably
first ones that Michael Bay made. Yeah, I saw those at the cinema.
Yeah.
So like 1 or 2 of them I've seen at the cinema.
He gets a pass for Bumblebee, and that's, I'll be honest, I haven't seen Bumblebee. I saw the first Transformers in the theater, and I came in absolutely hating it. For all those in the room, including yourself, Lantern, raise your hand if you ever seen the original animated Transformers movie. That
Definitely seen it, yeah.
As the meme would say, pure cinema, you know. And to touch base on earlier topics, something we said about the 2D animation that just I honestly felt more special, better than any of the 3D effects that we saw in the. Do you know too what drove me nuts in Transformers is like, and I get it, they're trying to show how intricate their transforming moves were, and it's just like, dude, like it took you like a whole 12 seconds to transform. Megatron would have been there with a blaster, and you would have been done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was another article about this. I probably should have just saved that one. Now, the interesting thing about this Transformer movie compared to the other ones, sorry, 1 second, click back on there. Is this going to be a crossover? Because now that Mattel's kind of like putting their 2 cents in, they're doing a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. Did you see any of the live iterations of the G.I. Joe movies?
I think I did. Did that have Channing Tatum in it?
It did.
I have seen
totally
that.
Did.
They're just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and Michael Bay's the one throwing the stone.
It's a pretty big stone, and when he throws it, it's going to go bah,
and explode on impact.
Exactly. I tuned it after the second with Devastator having a scrotum. Bumblebee was more of a reboot. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I do remember. Do you know, I did see that one in the theater too, and that Devastator's always been just like the big green kind of like monster to me, and those were some Devastators from the hood. Again, for all of those in the room here who's ever seen the animated G.I. Joe movie, raise your hand.
I haven't seen that one.
You have not? There's got to be a platform that has it free. Watch it. It's
okay.
And like the Transformer movie, it's kind of like a transition. You get your new characters in there, but they do it right. It feels good. The animation's sleek. If all those watching out there, if you want a little Papa South confession, to this day, when the little intro comes on for the G.I. Joe movie, and the second that like the main theme song kicks in, because it's a little bit extended at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, tears are just gushing with nostalgia. Like, cry like a baby. But yeah, the live action versions, hated, hated,
Mm.
hated. Except for had the Voslos from the Mummy in it, but that's that one goes out to you, Resonator. You can have a good little chuckle about that later. Yeah. Now, will people go? Do you think people are still going to go see this? Do you think it will do bank?
Yeah, people will still go see it. It's one of those popcorn movies.
Yeah.
There's a certain demographic out there that loves a good Michael Bay explosion movie.
ain't that the truth?
But with the cost of going out to the cinema again, I don't know.
All the merch that they can sell on top of it as well. There's another thing, although they kind of switched up about. I guess when the newer ones, newer Transformer, like the Rodimus Primes that came out. When I was a kid, they were freaking die-cast metal, man. Like, you chuck that at your sibling, you were in for some stitches after or a black eye or something. So stop making the plastic toys. I don't care if they're more expensive. Let's bring some die-cast metal back. I don't know if it'll do bank, but I think it'd at least break even. And like you said, there's an audience for Michael Bay explosions and big loud brass hits and yeah. So I guess we'll see how that turns out. We'll see who their casting is for the G.I. Joe characters. Is obviously everybody else that they cast for the other ones are probably a little bit past their prime at this point to be returning. At least Bruce Willis as Hawk will not be returning. That would be my guess. So whether we agree or not, whether that movie is worthwhile to do, here's one. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say that we can agree that they probably don't need to do. Social Network Part 2 in the works. Aaron Sorkin is set to write and direct. Unknown if Jesse Eisenberg will return as Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't see how they're going to make this movie without Mark Zuckerberg's character.
I agree. Real quickly with Why of the Dam, Bruce Willis won't be returning for anything.
To shame.
It's funny you said "'tis a shame," and I wasn't sure if you were saying touche or not. But
oh no, it's a
both
shame.
Statements are a shame. No, for sure. All jokes aside, it's a shame. Like he's a legacy actor, someone we all appreciated growing up. Would it be the Die Hards, Fifth Element? Was it The Quick and the Dead? Maybe. The Last Boy Scout. And like just everything I've ever seen him.
Pulp Fiction,
Pulp Fiction, Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd. He's always seemed like a class act, whatever type of interview I've ever seen him in, and yeah, we keep our prayers with the Willis family. Interesting little factoid that I discovered a couple years ago about Bruce Willis. I know we're on the Social Network here, but he is American citizen only because he was born on an American Army base, but that Army base happened to be in Germany. So it's a little factoid for you. Yeah, maybe if his mom would have went out
of trivia.
She would have went out for like a carton of milk or something that morning. He could have very well been a German.
German citizen, yeah.
There you go. But born on base, and again, great little piece of trivia factoid. So again, to your point. Oh, sorry, brother, you just touching Papa's house heart right there with a little bit of Hudson Hawk. Yeah, definitely a good popcorn movie. I appreciate you bringing that one up. If anyone here hasn't seen Hudson Hawk, hey, is it an Oscar winner? Absolutely not. This is a great little film. You better believe it is. So to your point, Lantern, yeah, how they do it without Jesse Eisenberg, unless he's recasted, maybe, is beyond me.
Jesse did such a good job of it, though. They'd be stupid to recast the character.
Yeah, no, agreed. And let's be honest, he hasn't had a win in a while. Like the Hocus Pocus series or whatever it was, or Now You See Me, Hocus Pocus, Now You See Me, it's kind of fizzled out. And then I think the last thing really before that would have been his try at Lex Luthor. So no, he's definitely due for Zombieland. He had some success with, but again,
I like Zombieland.
They were great films, but he hasn't had a win for a while. So maybe that's what they're hoping to fish him back in with. As far as plot details, obviously we don't have any. The only thing I could really see them talking about is We'll see if the stream gets shut down right now. We'll take our chances. Is the election interference during the 2020 United States election, which actually has now been proven fact, by the way. So like that, YouTube overlords or whatever. But yeah, I think that's the only thing they could really talk about at this point, because there wouldn't be anything, in my opinion, like that would be worth trying to make a story around. Although it would be interesting, and this is just a fan casting here, and I know you're going to agree with me, so just give me a second with this. Maybe if like it was more about the battle at this point between him and Twitter and Elon Musk. Do you know who they could cast as Elon Musk? Mads Mikkelsen.
As Elon Musk.
Yeah. Tell me.
At least he's a great actor. He could do anything.
Absolutely. If you ever seen Casino Royale with which was the first Bond remake with Daniel Craig, I remember watching that going like, Mads Mikkelsen looks like Elon Musk. So you can pull it off. Do you think there's any interest for this movie at all? Or do you think...
Oh, I didn't even know they were making it, so...
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise. The first one was a good movie, though. Good film. Filmed well. Good actors. Good story.
Because this is more obviously something driven toward adults. Is this something that you'd pay some money for in the cinema, or is this going on your Disney Plus watch list?
Oh, this is on the Disney Plus watch list. It's got to be something I'm really excited for to drop some cash on.
Yeah, I agree. Cash is so hard to come by nowadays. Yeah, that would. I don't even know if I put the time into it on Disney Plus. That would be like I can't sleep at 3 a.m. and I find it on some other platform. But yeah, definitely going on the watch list for later. Speaking of movies, I'm not sure that they need to be making sequels or remaking of. I think this one's actually been done like twice now. Yeah, because I think one was with Tom Cruise. The original was with Brendan Fraser.
I loved the original. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there we go.
You say Brandon Fraser in the original. I'm like, I love the movie.
I would have been like, love didn't see no man. But Lee Cronin's The Mummy has officially wrapped up and is due in theaters April 17th, 2026.
So is it a remake of the original?
This is a remake of the Brendan Fraser version. Of course, the original,
1999.
Yeah, the original was with Boris Karloff in 1950. I think it was like around then. But do you think this was a movie worth remaking, or do you think this is just one they should leave alone?
Well, the original was fine. Like the 1999 one with Brendan Fraser. It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Great film.
I don't think they
Not gonna
needed to
lie.
remake it, but I definitely have some interest in seeing it.
Okay, fair enough. My next question was, do you think it still has relevancy? And I'm feeling from you that you still feel it does.
Yeah. I want to know who
Is
they
it one of
cast
those?
as like Rick and Evie.
Is this a case of the I don't want to say the MonsterVerse because that's kind of like King Kong Godzilla nowadays, but let's just, for the lack of a term, do you think this is like one of those that it just doesn't ever really go out of style? Monsters are always relevant.
Oh no, it definitely goes out of style. People haven't done like, mummies and anything Egypt in quite some time.
Do you think the fact that Halloween is such a big deal nowadays, like just the season in itself, that it's good, that it will bring that's kind of like what's helping keeping it relevant?
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a good October release date. You bring out the mummy during Halloween.
Hey, do you not agreed? I'm just trying to see if I can find if anyone's being cast as the mummy, or at least your main guy. So
Yeah.
right now, Jack Rayner. I don't know if you know who Jack Rayner is. Papa Smith has never heard of him, so I can't even put a picture up to the camera because Papa Smith is doing this on his cell phone data and doesn't want to go too far away from the laptop with his phone.
That's okay.
But that said, do you know what? I have a funny feeling it'll be a good popcorn movie, as we like to say. And do you know what? That one might be even one that I got a whole year to save, that I'd put the dollars in to actually go see it. Why not? Sure, it'd be all sorts of fun. Probably won't be too out there. And anything's probably going to be better than the Tom Cruise version that we had some years ago. Now, here's a remake I do not want to see done. First, I want to see it done. Two, I don't want to see this actress touch it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Snow White actress Rachel Zegler. I even hate the fact that I have to say Snow White actress. It's just like Rachel Zegler is to play Maria in a new Sound of Music production. Is she the right choice? So before anybody, you beat me to it.
I love Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. She's a fantastic actor.
She is,
and I just
fabulous.
Don't see this being a good idea with Rachel Zegler. She'll probably complain about the sensibilities of the movie, and this is a dated mentality to have.
Oh, absolutely. She won't be no doe deer, a female deering. She'll be a strong, independent fawn.
Why of the damned again? That's funny.
Let's pull you up. Hollywood Hills are alive in the sound of whining. You better believe it, brother. You better believe it. To both of your points, I think she's going to be I don't think she's learned anything. I think she'll be a social media mess.
She definitely has the singing ability for this role, but that's it. I think that's probably the main reason why they're looking at casting her as Maria.
Now, it's been some time since I've seen The Sound of Music. Was it Dutch? Was it
German?
It was German. I don't know about you, but
or Dutch. You're probably
Miss
right.
Miss Zegler doesn't bring Dutch and or German to me.
Doesn't really look like she's from that region.
Yeah,
especially with the time period this film's set in.
Agreed. And I don't see her as a blonde either.
Mm-mm. I wonder what they'll do with the Von Trapp family, if they'll do a little bit of race swapping there. But it's supposed to be set during World War II.
Yep.
Very interesting.
What's the chances? Do you think they modernize it, or do you think they're going to go just be totally ballsy and be like, nope, we're definitely going to keep this set in World War II, and damn it, this is
well, you can't really tell the same story from The Sound of Music if you modernize it.
This is true, unless like the sand dunes are alive with the sound of music, and maybe they. I know she's not Middle Eastern, but maybe they put some type of. I think she's Spanish, but
to be fair, I think she's half Polish. Rachel Zegler.
Half Polish.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Well, she's half Polish, and she definitely brought the worst. But
yeah, I'm not keen for this casting.
Yeah, neither am I.
This is my grandmother's favorite movie, and we used to watch it all the time when I was younger.
My apologies to your grandmother. Are we saying box office bomb before it's even made?
Oh, that's a tough one, because there are people who will go and watch a remake of this. If they're doing it as a stage production, I can see this being fine, completely fine, because Rachel Zegler, as I said, does have quite a good singing voice.
I think this one's going to theater.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bad decision, especially with Rachel Zegler and how she acted during Snow White, and it was mainly just her choices of words in interviews. If she can keep her mouth shut, it could be okay.
You do have some points there. She works with if her PR people sit her down and be like, "Hey, this is your last shot."
I'm surprised she's still getting work though.
Yeah. Do you think this is more of a decision of? I don't know if shock value is the right term, but it's just like she's controversial, so we're just going to put her because then people, whether they're going to want to hate watch it or whatever, they're just going to be curious to see what the train wreck is.
I think people will be a little bit more curious. Also, her agent must have had to have begged for this role for her.
I have no doubt of that.
I promise she won't act like that ever again.
Just like our agent had to like beg Brass Center to join the show. It's like, come on, we need a co-host on there. She's like, all right, put a little didgeridoo music and a cute koala bear and think about it. I'm going to call it box office flop. That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't think she's
That's fair.
The right choice. But again, this is not why. This is why they don't pay me the big bucks to sit at these production places. But speaking of big bucks, you're gonna need some damn big bucks if you want to be playing some Xbox in the future. New Xbox expected to cost at least $1,000 according to PSP2 specs leaker.
I'd like to know the specs of that console to find out why it's worth $1,000. Because you can build a pretty solid PC for that amount of money.
Okay, that was going to be my question, as you are expert gaming and PC expert. So about $1,000 is a decent gaming PC.
Entry level, but you'd still be able to get away with playing, most games on it.
Okay, so then my question is, do you think this is really just a gaming PC with an Xbox shell on it and port for a
Oh,
controller?
I'd have to have a look at what the specs are for it, but there's an audience for this, and it's the people who don't like using, a gaming PC to do their gaming. It's like they've been a console gamer through and through their whole life, and they want something that's going to run just as smoothly and as fast as a PC, which the PlayStation 5 Pro, from what I've heard, does that.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I
Now,
mean, there's definitely an audience for this. I feel like a lot of people would pay $1,000 for a fancy schmancy Xbox that's gonna, run your AAA games at 60 frames per second.
Great point on that. Nintendo is the only console that isn't a realistic PC. Agreed. Yeah. Just a really, really good point on that. Nintendo is still fairly old school and tries to bring that kind of, even though it's handheld, still can have that old school console feeling to it.
Yeah, it's a restricted console.
Okay, so you guys are speaking a different language to me. Explain to me, what is a restricted console?
They only have like certain types of games will come out on, say, Nintendo Switch, where they don't ever even touch another type of console, like PlayStation, Xbox, or PC won't get any of their titles.
Okay, fair enough. So it's more of a licensing thing.
And it wouldn't run like a PC either.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to disagree with you. I do think there is an audience for this. To all your points, people who want to have a PC experience on a gaming console, also just people who are hardcore Xbox, like the Halo people. Like that. I would never touch a PlayStation game in my life because like my brand loyalty is with Xbox, and if this is the next thing, and this is what I have to pay, then this is what I'm going to have to pay.
It's also a bit smaller than a gaming computer, so I guess it would be down to people that have limited space as well.
Yeah,
like the console itself.
Yeah, great point for sure. Guess if that red light of doom doesn't come on, I think that's what they used to call it back in the day when it's owned by the Xbox, and then the light goes red. I'm guessing like a PS5 Pro, anyways. Not to say it's $1,000. Like I remember one of my coworkers got one for one of their kids or something like that.
Like $750 or something like that. Yeah. Oh, that's in Australian dollars.
You know what? So like Canadian dollars, we'll call that $675. So like still that's you're not quite at $1,000, but you're getting there.
Yeah.
Now I would hope that this machine comes with something a little bit more, like at least a game or something. Xbox
agreed
games,
with that. Why are the damned?
Yep, I know what mirroring is. Look at that. There's like a couple things, but that's an excellent point. So, as a PC gamer, how long do you find that usually takes before, let's say, a console game is mirrored onto the PC?
Same day.
Same day, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does Xbox have their own subscription service that you can pay for monthly on your PC? It's probably the same as on their consoles as well, and you get all of the new games on launch. You don't have to pay any extra for that.
Wow.
Yeah, Game Pass. That's it.
Game Pass. That we got our two experts going. Like this is like they said. This between the like. Obviously, you're a PC gaming expert, and getting know a little bit more about Why of the Dam. Obviously, knows some things about PC gaming as well. Sorry, we'll be forced to follow suit. As in, you're going to be getting one next Why of the Dam?
Oh no, for their like how Xbox has the Game Pass system that you can play on PC, they'll probably have to follow suit to stay relevant.
Okay, that totally makes sense. Yeah, just like just real quickly, just one thing I do look about Team South being Team South instead of just like, hey, this is like a Papa South thing or something. So everybody's got some expertise and like, whether it be Why the Dam, some of our followers, definitely you, Brass Lantern. I appreciate like the insights that you guys have, especially on certain topics like this that I don't. And you make it a broader conversation. So kudos to both of you again for bringing something extra to this the podcast. So really appreciate it. Said Papa South last time he had a console. I guess was PS3 was on San Andreas.
I think that San Andreas was PS2.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
there you go. Right. So it has been some time. Honestly, the next gaming console I'm going to get is going to be either the NES or the Genesis. That one was just like, it's like a mini one that you can plug into your TV. It has like 200 games on it. Just because this is like way, once it got past 6 buttons, it was just I know like the
too many
PlayStation
buttons.
I know obviously the PlayStation had more than 6 buttons, and I kind of got used to that. But yeah, it was just a little too much for this guy's coordination. Whoa, that.
Hey, Neon Tardis.
Hey, Tardis. Hey, folks. Better late than never. Hey, we appreciate you dropping in. We gave you a pretty huge shout out earlier. All your links are in the descriptions, your YouTube, your X. We got to add your website. So I'll have to get that from you tomorrow. But your YouTube and your X are now permanently in the descriptions. Again, gave you a shout out. He's the guy that gave me my start on the streaming, and again, I'll be joining him tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. 8 p.m. UK time, and Australia
5 a.m.
There you go. So we're all covered. And Brass Lantern has a day off tomorrow, so she'll be popping in to join us there. And again, appreciate hey, no worries, brother. Again, appreciate you showing me some ropes, and I enjoy you, the ragtag crew of members we got on there, and looking I don't know if I can say looking forward to talking some Ironheart tomorrow, but we'll be talking about it either way. And we'll give our takes tonight as well, brother. Thanks for popping in. Damn time zones. Yeah. I know. But do you know what, though? It's great. That's what makes it international. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, for all the crazy things that like go on in the world of tech, this is what tech was really meant to do. Bring people together from different places, share their experiences, share their interests. So I think that's a pretty damn amazing thing. All right. That down. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? We're still in the world of gaming here. So Xbox talking about a $1,000 Xbox. Well, PlayStation is already thinking PlayStation 6. I've read a couple of articles now, and not to say it's going to come out next year or anything like that. Obviously, systems do take some time to develop, but this is being fast-tracked as the sooner than later. PS5 has been out for like 2 years now, maybe?
I think a little bit longer.
Do you think
just
this
under
is
3 years? Yeah.
Just okay, so just under 3. Do you think this is too soon for them to be talking PS6?
Oh no, tech's
Or
forever evolving and it evolves very quickly.
I guess this is true, and let's just say like you got like let's call it like a minimum of 2 years before you can bring something to market. So that'll put it at 5.5, get going on 6 years. Let's call it
No,
six
that's
years by
definitely
the time
not
you're
too
done.
soon.
No, well, I guess not. Um, fair enough. I guess I'm reminiscing as a kid when it seemed like a system came out like every like 8 years or something like that. I know PlayStation has been talking about eventually moving it to what they would call the virtual system, where there would be no console and it would just be a controller and a subscription, I guess, at that point. So again, you're saying not too soon.
Yeah, like,
How
they bring out new chips and faster motherboards every second week at this point with how technology is being developed. There's
very
always
true.
something faster, smaller, and better that they could put into a new PlayStation.
So let's just say, so are we saying like most PS, again, not my field of expertise, are we saying that most of the current generation gaming is like the Unreal Engine?
I think that's what they would be using to render it. And
So as
but
a
yeah,
gamer,
I don't know that much about like console hardware, what they actually put inside of their consoles. But I know, for example, with PC, they're always bringing out, new motherboards, new graphics cards, faster RAM. Everything's always getting beefed up.
everything is unreal, brother. This whole world is unreal. And he has an Unreal live stream. So again, check it out tomorrow. We'll all be there. So to make it, put yourself in the shoes of a console buyer, like for myself, like this is how photoreal it has to be. For me to be like that's worth the jump, that's worth the price. I would do actually wonder how much of it's going to be AI run, and like what would what makes it worthwhile for you to say this is worth my dollar to go into something new like that? Does it work the same for PC gamers, where it's just like here's the newest shiny
Oh
toy?
no, you can take out one piece of your PC and update it with a new one. That's pretty easy.
Which I guess
so you don't have to completely buy a brand new PC, but at the point I'm at, I do need to get a new one.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I've chopped and changed the pieces on mine so often that it's not the same PC I originally built.
I believe there's some type of philosophy thing about that, where it's the boat, where it's just like if you have a boat and like say once a year you replace a plank, at what point is it no longer the original boat?
Original boat, yeah.
Continuously, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
So you might as well buy a PC.
Like that Xbox being $1,000, you could build a PC for that amount.
Yeah, I will agree with you 100%. And again, with so much being subscription based nowadays, because I know PlayStation has talked about it in the past, where it's just like I don't even know why build hardware, right? Where it's just like,
yeah, would that be like you streaming a game from their subscription service? Because I could see that working, but you'd have to have a really fast internet connection for it to be worthwhile.
100%. You would need the fast internet connection. But that said, hey, if that's what you go to, you're going to buy that fast internet connection, right? Like when you're forced into the position that you're a gamer, right? You say if that's the price it's going to cost me to pay, but I do think there's some more sensibility in just not having hardware at all. You know, you could charge more for the subscription because obviously there's money to be made off the hardware, but just charge more for the subscription. Everything we have is subscription based nowadays. And I'm sure it's the same for Android. I know you're an Android person, but like I look at when I go on the app store on the iPhone, it's like where you used to be able to buy your app, you download it, and you're good. But now it's just like you get it, and once a month now you're paying like $10-$20 just to keep it running. And
Yeah, just to use it.
Just to use it.
I mean, I have a PlayStation 2 emulator on my phone, so I'm set for PlayStation 2 games.
Nice. I wonder if they have those for Apple, but Papa's South.
They probably do,
running.
but you've got to do a lot of run around to get them to work.
Fair enough. And I'm still running an iPhone 8, so I might have to get something slightly newer, but it does a trick for me. Okay. As we continue to talk about, well, I guess this is stuff people want to see as far as like the gaming consoles. Let's talk about something nobody wants to see. We're gonna put this in the Rachel Zegler category. LeBron James says he would like to explore acting after his basketball career. If the scripts start to roll in and there's an opportunity for me to do acting and I have time, obviously post-career, don't mind looking at it. You better believe I mind looking at you. So shut up, Mr. James.
I don't know if he'd be a very good actor. He'd probably have to do a lot of classes, maybe some acting school.
So I believe the only thing he's been in has been Space Jam Part 2, which didn't hold water against the first one with Michael Jordan. You're absolutely right. He would have to do a lot of acting. And
it's not like he can't afford it. He can probably afford to pay for some acting coaching and some classes.
It's true. He's probably trying to get out of the league because his son Bronny blew it on the Lakers for him. But I'll be honest, he's the Rachel Zegler of the NBA. He does not know when to shut his mouth. And as his career dwindles down and he's not quite like most stars, right? And he's not quite the player he used to be. His relevance, like, hey, like the NBA playoffs just finished the other day. A Canadian was actually the MVP of the winning Oklahoma City Thunder. Congrats to them. I don't know how relevant he is anymore. Like, obviously, he's still a name, but it's kind of like people at my age, like, you know, it's like wearing a pair of tight jeans and thinking
he could
it's cool.
coach.
Like, no,
he could coach NBA teams. I think that'd be a smart career decision for him, actually.
Not going to disagree with you at all, right? I bet you he would have some great coaching chops. Sounds like we're all saying like maybe he should stay out of the acting.
Stick to what he knows.
Yeah, queen. He is such a queen. It's yeah.
Oh no, he said Zegler, not LeBron.
I think they're both queens, brother. Yeah. Great point about sticking with coaching. I think it was LeBron James where they wound up coining the term "shut up and dribble." Nobody wants to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just really wouldn't see too many people wanting to see him act. Now, that said, he was in some funny Super Bowl commercials this year, but there's a difference between a 20-second spot and let's call it like a 2-hour movie nowadays. I think he should try sticking to, like you said, let's stick him in the coaching field, something basketball related. Or remember the band Bush? Maybe he can be like Gavin Rexdale, who now has a cooking show because apparently he can cook. And I heard a little radio commercial for that the other day, and I was just like, "Ooh, I guess after the divorce with Gwen Stefani, life hasn't treated him well." But we say goodbye to Mr. LeBron James, and with any luck, the Lakers and the NBA say goodbye to him this year as well. I think we got 3 more Twitter files. We'll do some trailers, and then we'll get to our topics. This one is I don't know. Is this passe, or do you think this is still something that's only? Do you think this is something that's just relevant to the market that watched it originally came out? A new Harold and Kumar movie is in the works. Cobra Kai creator John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Hield will write and direct film.
This could be funny.
Yeah. Have you? How many of the Harold and Kumars have you saw?
I think one.
This one, was it the White Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I saw White Castle, and then I forget what the second one was called. Definitely were some giggles. As I get a little older, I find pot humor a little less funny, just because I find the experience, it's. I
don't think the stoner humor is going to go over too well these days.
Yeah, I'll agree. He was a great Sulu, by the way, and Kumar, you were great on House MD. I don't know how much success this will see based on the fact I think this is really geared towards a generation, either being my age or even your age, but like past that, I'm not too sure how many kids nowadays know who Harold and Kumar are. I could see this doing okay. Let's just say, like, if it went to like a straight to HBO Max or a straight to Hulu or something like that, but not necessarily in the theater. Disney goes on the Disney Plus files.
Yeah, I may as well put it on there. There's plenty of other stuff like it on there.
Fair enough. We got a lot of Disney Plus watching to do. Again, a little passe. I think people are past the pot humor. Says the guy who's going to be pulling up an article on fart humor, but yeah, I'm calling this one dead on arrival. I don't think it's the wisest decisions. It was just a quick one. Again, you were great as Sulu, and that franchise will be dearly missed. And in the last week or two, we have our first look at He-Man, Master of the Universe, and Teela. No, it's not a great shot, but I think the He-Man half of it is looking good. How much He-Man? I guess
not much.
I'm sure you've seen lots of He-Man memes, though.
Yes.
I think He-Man's looking great. Tila, not so much. I don't like the fact that they gave her track pants, so to speak. Top is feeling a little weak as well.
She's very tan to have hair that color. I'm assuming the original character wasn't
quite that tan.
Olive skinned.
Olive skin. Though she was a little more fair skinned like yourself, which makes more sense.
As most redheads are.
I was just about to say, but you know how at least you'll be guaranteed you're not getting replaced on this channel here. But next week it'll be some black girl in the corner with a big afro. We'll be like, we don't know what happened to her. Now, for people who are pretty dang excited about how He-Man looks, I did have a brighter one, and I should have just kept that picture. Don't get too excited yet, because like a lot of remakes, now whether they go back to his planet Eternia or not, this movie, as per Reddit leaks, will start off on Earth. He-Man will be on Earth, and he won't know he's He-Man. Nothing worse than a remake of a older film where they bring them into modern times and they, just big pet peeve of Papa says. Let's call it like, even if it's the Smurfs. Now the Smurfs are Manhattan, or
they're trying to figure out how to use Facebook.
Exactly. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
With a franchise like this, do you think they would have been a lot wiser just to...
Yeah, don't change the time period. If it's set in it, let's just say medieval, which this kind of looks like it would be, then just leave it that way.
Yeah, agreed. Another downfall of this movie, I think, is going to be Jared Leto is playing Skeletor. I'm kind of curious to see what his first look is like.
He could also absolutely kill the role in a good way.
I'm not saying he couldn't kill the role. It is an article I decided not to do on our last podcast, and I don't even have it anymore. All I will say is, who was the actor? I can't remember the actor, but gifting anal beads in used rubbers. And recently he's had a lot of heat about his affiliations with younger females, and we're not talking about like...
Yeah, I read that.
We're not talking about Leonardo DiCaprio style. We're talking like a lot younger.
Like they're on recess from school.
Exactly. So maybe not... in hindsight's 2020, obviously, but maybe somebody that you just don't want in your film. I know you don't know much about the He-Man universe. Right now, I'm saying this is dead on arrival and is not going to make its money. Any thoughts? Just if you had to take a guess.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to do that well, just based off of these images.
Oh, great.
I mean, the one on the
Tardis.
left of He-Man, he looks good.
I agree. Yeah, he does look good. The rest of it, a great point, Neon, with the Dolph Lundgren version back in the was called the 80s, which and Christopher Plummer, if I remember correctly, which was an abomination. Same kind of thing, comes to Earth, and I guess back in the day, I don't know how to use Atari or something, right? But just I hate it when they ruin franchises that we enjoyed as children. But again, they're not paying Papa Say to make the decisions at the executive board. Well, we got one more Twitter file before we get into some movie trailers, and Papa Seth is just going like, thank God it never happened, but in the world of Filoniverse, never say never. I'm talking. That's not what we're looking for. I'm going to be talking about a little bit of a pitch that Miss Portman gave to share screen. That's something for to Lucasfilm. Now, Portman explained if Padme were to return, she'd want her to come back with a lightsaber. I think she'd have to be a Jedi somehow. She was brought back from the dead, and that would be exciting. Natalie Portman reveals her pitch for a Star Wars return with a lightsaber.
Honestly,
Take it away,
it's the
Lantern.
most idiotic thing I've ever heard any of the actors from the Star Wars prequel series say. It's like, has she even watched the movies that she was in? Because that's so dumb.
Yeah. It's almost like she's doing like a Poe Dameron pitch. Somehow Padme returned, like...
yeah, but for what point would they bring Padme back after she was... Like, her character was actually really good in the prequel series. She didn't need to be a Jedi as well as the senator for Naboo and the queen of a planet.
As someone who hated the prequel series, I will 100% agree with you. She did a fantastic job with her role. Her character was definitely relevant to the plot. And she was a strong female character without being like over the top. And there is no purpose for her at all to ever return as a pseudo type of Jedi.
Yep. The only way I could see this working is if she was cast as a completely different character. And it would, let's just say, they pick up the Thrawn book series or the one where Luke becomes the Grand Master of the Jedi. I can't remember what it's called.
True.
She could play one of Luke's children, and then she could be a Jedi.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, yeah, maybe she could be one of Luke's children for sure. And that would be interesting, even if his child...
And then they could give a nice nod, being like, oh, you look so much like your grandmother.
There you go. We got Brass Lantern writing better material than Dave Filoni already. Yeah, I think, like I said, I agree with you. This is just a stupid idea. Hear me out, C-3PO, but with a lightsaber. Yep, you know what? I take 3PO with a lightsaber over Portman with a saber. He'd have to have like a dual, like the dual Darth Maul lightsaber. Then
just give him like 100 lightsabers, like that meme with General Grievous.
Right. Or like the one with Kylo Ren and like the Swiss Army lightsaber. But hey, that said, they brought Darth Maul back 100 times, so why not Padme, right?
But she died during childbirth, so
because
it's a hard death to come back from.
Yeah, especially just when you're sad. Boy. So I do hope, again, this is something that never comes to fruition, but and
I wouldn't put it past them. Like, they just do dumb shit like this all the time.
That's my overall worry, that they do dumb shit like this all the time. So and now that Favreau's out, Filoni's in as the head. I know he has a person, as we discussed last week or on our last show. We'll see what type of leash they keep on him and avoid from doing a train wreck like this.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for a couple of trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And by a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 trailers. One of them kind of ties into one of the topics, but I've watched 2 of these trailers. I try my best not to watch them. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Share screen. First up, new Naked Gun trailer.
A voice in
Oh,
your
I've
head.
seen this too.
Thanks. Once you kill a man for revenge, there's no going back. A voice in your head sang over and over. That was awesome.
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
Police squad has always been the elite of the elite.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
Need a bathroom. I need this one immediately.
There's a lot, man.
Police business. Oh, I'm gonna ruin another suit.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
I'll find them. This is what I do. Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke.
They're going to shut down police squad if you do not solve this case. Do this by the book.
Show a little respect! Why? Who's gonna arrest me? Other cops?
Yes.
She's
Oh. Got a little lag here.
Is he serious?
No.
Seems this driver might be more of a problem than we thought. I want you to keep an eye on him.
This woman is disgusting.
rest assured. I won't stop until I've found justice.
What do you want, little one?
Your ass. Nobody messes with the squad.
We've upgraded your car with the most advanced crime-fighting tech.
I forward 30 feet. He's my love.
Oh!
This place is falling apart.
That's the sound of the police!
Initial cuts.
It's good to see Liam Neeson venturing into other fields like comedy.
I guess this is true.
And that scene with OJ's picture on the wall, and they're like, that's funny too. Because he was in the original.
He was. He was in quite a bit. True story. And you can look this up. He was actually in the running to be the Terminator before Arnold Schwarzenegger, quote unquote, from James Cameron at the time.
Oh wow!
I just couldn't imagine. His quote was, "I just couldn't imagine him to be a cold-blooded killer." But do you think this movie is?
I'll go watch that. That looks funny.
Yeah, you give that a go. Did
Yeah.
you see any of the original ones?
I've only seen one. I think it was
one. Fair enough.
Yeah. It was the one with OJ in it. Or was he in?
Yeah, he was in all of them as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's the
think
first
there
one
was
I've seen
three.
then.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, me, like Leslie Nielsen, will be dearly missed. Someone who will never be replaced. These are the type of reboots I don't necessarily like seeing happen. I do think, they're obviously, like you said, the OJ part was hilarious. One scene in there that's so stupid, but like that I appreciated when their girl comes in and says whatever to Drum, and he's like, "Please take a chair. Thank you very much." And she walks away with the chair.
Just drags it away.
I'm like, if they can stick to mostly stuff like that, then I'm good with it. I guess I'll have to get used to a little bit of the hippity hop and haven't seen it yet, brother, but I already heard about that one. So no more spoilers on the rest of that one because I'm watching it tomorrow evening. But yeah, that's what I've heard. Cody Rhodes was the bartender
in the trailer.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that now. Obviously not right now, but that learn something new every single day in the trailer. That's why you said in the trailer. Fair enough. That's going on my Disney Plus list. Not sure if I'm running to the theaters to see it, but hopefully there's a couple of chuckles. This one's a really short one. I've watched it, but noticed it wasn't too long at all.
Hey, Dad.
Look who's here.
Hey, Bobby, come give your old man a big handshake.
Nowadays, Dad, beers tell stories.
Bobby, beers don't need to tell stories. They just need a fridge to keep them cold. Nobody likes a warm beer. The end.
5 stars?
I'm going to give you a 4. That way it gives you something to work towards.
Let me know when you need me to take over, since I'm a professional now.
A professional comedian, if you think I'm going to let you take over for me.
I hadn't watched that much of the original. Was King of the Hill?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Just wasn't too big into it. So, you know what?
On the list.
On the list, yeah. It's the classic. The kids are growing up now, and so on from there. All right. This one I am kind of curious to see. Haven't watched the trailer. But for a good laugh, I'm sure this one's going to be full of laughs.
How are you going to put Vienna through ballet school? My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try. But even when you're at the top of your game, you can always shank one.
Happy Gilmore sucks?
Oh, eat a bag of shit!
How are you going to put Vienna through ballet school? It's $75,000 a year. That's 4 years. That's $333,000. That's terrible math, Johnny. It's $300,000. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Let them see the happy I fell in love with.
Come on, you got to do it, Dad.
All right, let's go. Let's go get it, Dad. But I'm not the I know how to do it, Dad. Let's go.
What the hell is happening?
Happy Gilmore is breaking in yet another caddy he just met.
All right, we're going to go. See, but you bring those. Those always come. All right, that's it. They got a strap if you want to use the strap.
Happy Gilmore didn't have things flowing on the first hole.
Check out the name tag, grandson. You're in my world now.
I got you a little something there, Pop. Everyone is talking about comeback kid. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore.
We've been watching you play, Mr. Gilmore. So inspiring.
My dad loved you, man.
Sure.
I am so sorry. Give him here. I got some Gorilla Glue. Here we go. to the happy place I went to?
You go to yours.
Oh my God, Rory!
Jackass.
Bingo.
You stole my life from me.
Why would I want to steal the life of somebody who eats pieces of shit for breakfast?
It looks funny.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the
there's
original in such a long time.
At first, I had to double check to like, it hasn't been 30 years, but obviously it was just like a time jump, like in the movie. It was just like, no, because I wasn't like fucking 16.
What
yeah,
was it?
definitely it was in
Early
60s.
2000s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But no, definitely don't know if I'm running to the theater. And although it might be on Disney list, it might be like when I actually watch while I'm eating supper, not just pay attention to my supper. And a family movie, something to watch with mom and have a chuckle over. Yeah, for sure. It's on Netflix. Sorry, it's obviously it's not like it's got to do like theater money, but I think it's going to get a lot of good views for sure. I think Adam Sandler has always had a lot of good brand faith with the fans. He's never
It's
really
always
gotten
funny as well.
Yeah, he's never gotten into anything to really kind of get his like myth into trouble or anything, and he's always just been about the laugh. So
Yeah.
definitely think that one's going to do pretty good. Two more trailers here. Again, I'm looking forward to them. This one I have not seen the trailer for, so I'm very, very curious. Very curious about this one.
I had determined that the memory of my evils should die with me. Some of what I will tell you is fact. Some is not, but it is all true. What manner of creature is that? What manner of devil made him? I did. I had a vision. An idea took shape. My mind. Inevitable. Unavoidable. Until it became truth. In seeking life, I created death.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be good.
Pure cinema.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought that was actually going to be the theater, not Netflix, but I would say that's what the theater needs right now.
Mhm.
I thought that looked incredible. I'm down for that. That's a full like turn off the phones, nobody bother me. Yeah, really looking forward to that one. Big fan of Oscar Isaac. Guam Del Toro, fabulous actor. Again, Shape of Water. I forget the other one that they mentioned. Just so the trailer. At least for the horror stuff, he knows his craft. Definitely looking forward to that one. And November's just around the corner. My birthday then, so treat myself to a day off and watch that. Definitely looking forward to that.
That should be good.
One more trailer to go, which will then go into our some of our topics there. This leads into one of the topics. This week we got the final trailer for Marvel's First Family.
I love you, Johnny!
Famous round the world, please welcome the Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch,
I love you, Johnny!
and the Thing.
Hey, what time is it? Say the date!
That's not really something I say.
It's clobbering time!
That's just in the cartoon. Never late for Sunday dinner. Let's eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's dinner time. Get inside.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
What is that? Get us out of here, man! Hold on! Are we safe?
I don't know.
The clock is ticking. We are going to find a solution. We are going to make it right.
You don't want to just crush him?
I like that. The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. We'll face it together. As a family.
What time is it, Ben? No. What time is it, Ben? No, Johnny. Say it! I don't wanna! Say it!
The female Silver Surfer sounded like she wanted to speak to the manager.
I'm sure you've heard that quite a bit of times. There you go. In case nobody could tell by the theme song, it's the Fantastic Four. They really did drop the ball by not putting the merchandise as Fantastic S'mores. We got a bearded Ben Grimm, the Thing. I want to know who decided that the voice actor should be Garfield for him. I want to know why they're chasing Galactus with a car. Does this make you any more excited to see the film than?
No. I do like their costumes they've got, though. It's nice to see the Thing with a proper costume.
Agreed. Costumes do look good. like the originals.
Yeah.
Hoping that there is no costume upgrade. That's one thing like I've always hated the movies, and they do it to sell toys and merch, but no, look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. He sat there with that same damn brown cloak, and he died with that brown cloak. He didn't need no damn upgrades. I'm not feeling this movie any more than I did a few weeks ago. I think you make a great point about the Silver Karen. I don't.
Yeah, the hype level for this for me is non-existent.
There we go. It's like even when it comes on Disney Plus, you're not going to watch it.
Probably not.
Agreed. I got no.
I'm sick of Pedro Pascal. I wish he wasn't in this film. Then I'd be a little bit more hyped for it.
If it would have been Gordon Joseph Levitt, right?
Yeah, someone.
Yeah. Before I get into Mr. Pascal, got a little closer look at that Galactus bucket. Like, I have to replay that again. Like,
oh, I didn't think it would be that big.
Like,
I thought it was going to be the same size as my head. That's massive.
Maybe their thinking was like, you will have to buy an extra seat at the theater just for your popcorn bucket. And maybe that's why those pre-ticket sales broke the internet, because people were like, damn it, like I already pre-ordered the Galactus head, now I have to, buy an extra seat. Just
if that's sitting on your lap while you're in the movies, you probably can't see anything in front of you.
I never even thought about that, but great point, because like that's like a fully grown adult, right? And like obviously that table level is below his torso.
Yeah, but it's like the same size as his chest.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a great point, right? Like, and especially if you're a child, no way. Like that thing's just massive. Like,
yeah,
look at that bag of popcorn just pour into that. Like, no, it's not the whole thing, but that's a lot of popcorn. I can see why it's $80 now, but man,
unnecessary, but
that's just it. I know we were talking about popcorn lung earlier, man. Like, get some serious popcorn lung from that. Oh. We are thinking the same. Agree, Pedro Pascal words movies. I couldn't agree more than that with you, brother. Though, like, I wasn't a big fan of him at all. Maybe about a month or two ago, I saw him in Gladiator 2, and he is the most uncharismatic actor like I have ever seen. He's very monotone. Sounds like an Apache Indian when he's talking, or an indigenous person, where it's just like it's one flat level. Not a fan of him at all, and not a fan of him for all sorts of reasons. The Hollywood director claims Pedro Pascal is what we want in masculinity. How did we get here? Filmmaker Spike Jonze recently declared that again. Pedro Pascal is what we want in masculinity.
Well, that might be what that person wants in masculinity, but it's certainly not what I want, or I'm guessing yourself.
Yeah, do you know that if I was going after men, it definitely would be what I wanted, masculinity.
Look at him with his little sweater on.
Oh, and like those weird ass outfits that he wears. I don't know if
this looks like something Jeffrey Dahmer would wear.
Agreed. He had like a really bad Vanity Fair spread over the last week, and it's just like,
yeah, it's creepy.
He's not quite as soft on the eyes as a Henry Cavill.
Oh no,
I
definitely
do
not.
with his head, and not quite as soft on the eyes as a little pop south here. Just a little brush off my shoulder there. And I do
Pedro's a
have.
very feminine man, in my opinion.
He's feminine's putting it politely.
Yeah.
He's well, it's that Pride Month. He's borderlining on that. He's and do you like this is just more liberalism, more push. If you want to get to the bigger picture, just trying to demasculizing that the word men all the way around. They want a generation of weak men. So when shit hits a fan, there won't be any strong men to fight back, so to speak. And these are the people that are willing to take the check to project that, and you know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, it's disappointing though.
Oh, it really, really is, right? Fortunate to have two nephews that grow up to be manly men, and so for all of my nieces' boyfriends and stuff are manly men, which are nice to see. Nothing wrong with having a male who's soft, but still you gotta have some masculinity, and there's a balance there. Other things we hate about Pedro Pascal. So this was like a double down where Pedro Pascal defends calling J.K. Rowling's a heinous loser, says bullies make fucking sick, in the latest broadside at Harry Potter creator.
Bullies make him sick. Let me just bully someone.
That you took the words right out of my mouth. And I know there's is it the keyboard warrior, so to speak, and we've all been keyboard warriors at a certain point, right? Because sometimes it's the only way you're gonna get your point across, and not to say for someone that you might not ever be like a celebrity or whatever, right? Or you won't get on a news station or whatever, right? But man, part of me wonders, do you do this because so many people hate you and this is the only way you can keep yourself in the news? Do you honestly think your only fan base, let's say, is the LGBTQ community?
The
again,
diehard Pedro fans are all in that community.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's just saying what they want to hear as well, so they can be like,
yeah, you're right.
Pedro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a marketing campaign, right? Where again, he's saying what people want to say. There's another couple more seats filled at Fantastic Four, so to speak, and nominations or maybe some.
And apparently the cool thing to do these days is to just take a dig at J.K. Rowling.
That's it.
She's entitled to her own opinion, just as Pedro Pascal is. So you don't need to pick on anyone in these situations.
Absolutely. And if he did his research, other than this one issue, she leans quite left with everything else. And I think it's just part of just, I don't know, trying to keep himself out there. But do you know what? There is one person out there that does think the world of him. And who could that person be? Robert Downey Jr. says, "The rise of Pedro Pascal reaffirms my faith in our industry."
What does that even mean? That's such a broad spectrum statement that it doesn't actually mean much at all, especially coming from Robert Downey Jr.
I think going forward for the next phase of the MCU, Pedro Pascal's he's gonna be your guy, And just like his comments a few weeks ago about Riri Williams.
Yeah.
That's her character name. But whatever her real name is, right? Was saying, oh, she's great. She's the best Iron Man I've ever seen. You know, he's getting the check. He has to pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the questions I have to you is like, how much do you think, like, do you think people are just like Pedro Pascal overload and they're just so over him at this point?
Yeah, I also think that whoever's doing these press interviews and getting, say, Robert Downey Jr. to say these things, the fans of Marvel are just getting sick of having one person pushed on them, being like, you need to like this actor.
Yeah. Do you think it will get to Neon Tardis in just a moment? Do you think the overexposure of Pedro and him not knowing when to shut his mouth will hurt the Fantastic Four in the long run?
Like, I don't think many people will have actually seen what his comments were. You know, there's the normies out there that are just going to go and watch it.
Because like every movie generally will have a drop off after its first week in the theater. Do you think so? Are you going to stick with like with the normies who don't really follow it as closely as us? Do you think it won't have much of an effect of how much of a drop off that the movie has next week at the box office?
Yeah, it's not going to have that much of an effect. Like, people don't go out of their way to find out what Pedro Pascal is actually saying behind the scenes.
I guess
especially the normie audience as well. They're just going to go and see it because it's at the cinema and they're like, oh, this looks like it could be fun.
Summertime, kids are at school.
Yeah.
And shuts them up for a weekend. JK is a massive lefty, but I can agree with her on that one thing. Again, agreed.
Can't we all?
Yeah. It's a whole round of amens going around the table on that. But yeah, no, 100% right. She is a big lefty, and yeah. Again, like my hype for Fantastic Four is next to nothing. Like, but yeah, this Pedro Pascal always story somewhere with him.
He's always doing or saying something.
That's just it, and we all look forward to the day. Do you know what the horrible thing is too? Is like we'll have this like Fantastic Four run, and then we're going to be like, oh, finally, this like sometime next year. It's like, oh, Mando and Grogu. That's right.
Oh, he's back again.
Yeah, but the good news with that is if it bombs in the theater, that one just might. It won't be a trilogy, but if it does good, we're stuck with it for 3. Okay, let's talk about something we do enjoy. I'm going to pull up an article first, which will kind of lead into something here. Predator, new lore introduced by Danny TRS, and Killer of Killer provides a perfect way to bring back Dutch in his prime via animation, voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to see.
That's exactly what I said at the end of the movie.
It is exactly what you said at the end of the movie. Pull you back up on the screen here. Yeah. So again, to your point, I do remember at the end of the watch party, you're like, they could totally bring him back. Something to that effect. So I'll touch base on that in just a second. So we did a little watch party last week. We appreciate everybody that joined us for that. As someone who was into the Predator franchise, the floor is yours. What did you think?
I loved that film. It was great. The animation was awesome. The voice acting was really good. My favorite segment of the film was definitely like the Japanese samurai bit. They showed so much emotion with such minimal dialogue that you're able to get a really good story out of very minimal dialogue. The ending, I think, like the end segment was a little bit weak, but it kind of pulled itself together right at the end there. Yeah, all around enjoyed that film. Keen to see more in that type of style and universe as well.
Awesome. That brings Papa Sith all sorts of joy to hear that from you. Like I said, you weren't someone really too familiar with the Predator franchise. And I think for anybody who isn't, it's a really great entry point. Probably other than like the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe part 2 with Danny Glover. That, even as an entry point, I would still say the 3 animated features are a great way to start. So it came in 3 pieces. The first one was called The Shield, the second one was called The Sword, and the third one was called The Bullet. At this point, full spoilers. Not that I'm really going to get into a whole lot of spoilers. So the first one was a story about a Viking woman who lost her father to a warlord when she was young, and then went in for revenge in her older years. And as she is going for revenge to kill the warlord who killed her father, a Viking-esque predator shows up. She loses her son in that battle. Again, animation was great, emotion was great. I really did love the animation. Music, to Brass Lanter's point, especially in the second piece, The Sword, which is you have 2 brothers that are forced to kind of face off with each other by their father, who's like the emperor, the head samurai type guy. The one that doesn't want to and runs away. And now that the father's passed away, the one son who does become like the emperor samurai, the other brother becomes the ninja who wants to go and kill his brother again. Predator shows up, and they have to kind of like team up together to kind of take it out. To Brass Lantern's point, that was probably the strongest one, where for so little dialogue, facial expression, I've really found the music drove like all 3 of them, but that one in particular, the music really drove that part of the feature. Just absolutely stunning lighting. Everything was good. That was probably the most heartfelt story of them all. Again, also my favorite. I thought the weakest one was the Bullet, but still really well done. A story about a boy who just kind of wanted to become a pilot. I guess maybe it was during World War II. Maybe his father had doubts. I guess is the best way to put it. And years later, he's a mechanic forced into a position to fly because there is some type of attack on the Allies unit, and eventually he has to go up in this beaten up plane, and he winds up taking it the Predator, who is piloting the plane in that. What I really enjoyed was for each time period, all the Predators kind of had their own tech that was fitted for that. Like the Viking one in particular had this like punching gauntlet, and like every time
it's like he had lost an arm in a previous battle, and they decked him out with some tech there.
Absolutely. And every time he had to do his it's like just this giant vibration punch, he'd have to like cock it, like with this little I thought that was really well thought out. Thought they were very clever with how the Predator pilot, the Baron, I think is what they've been calling him, some of his tech in his ship and how he took out some of the pilots and some of the planes. The Predator during the second one, The Sword, was probably the most basic Predator and kind of like more reminiscent of what we saw like in the other movies, blades and stuff like that. And then just starts kind of like a little mini mine he could throw, and Absolutely, yeah, just fantastic film all around. Again, spoiler alert: at the end of the film, the all three stories culminate into one piece, and they are on this alien, predator planet. Where picture Clone Wars, where they're in the arena, and they all have to.
Oh yeah, Geonosia.
Geonosia. There you go.
Yeah.
But they're pretty much forced to fight each other, and then whoever wins that has to fight the Predator Warlord, and then the kid from the Bullet kind of figures out like, hey, there's a way to. They all have like explosives around their necks, so the kid figures out kind of a way to get them off, and of course they all team up. And if you're wondering how they get there, which is really really neat, at the end of each segment. When each person defeats the Predator of their time era, there's kind of like a flash, and next thing you know, they're in a room where they seem to be in stasis with the collar with like a little beep on their neck, and that's them being abducted after they've defeated the Predator again to go to this planet to face off against each other and then fight this big warlord Predator, where they eventually all get off the planet. Inside this ship is a bunch of stasis pods, and then you see like the girl from Prey and a whole bunch of other people in there. And again, to the article, this is why they're referring, as you said as well at the end of it, that hey, there's
infinite potential there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much online viewing that you have seen. Do you think this is something that they definitely will, or do you think it's still up in the air whether they are going to make a sequel, so to speak, to this?
I really hope they make a sequel to this. I don't know if they will. It's from what I've read, it's gotten really good viewer ratings.
Yeah.
Like the people who have watched it really enjoyed it. I don't think it would have cost them that much money to make either.
No,
so it'd be a smart decision to make more.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, maybe better off just keeping the franchise. Like, I know we have the Predator Badlands coming out. I think they could do a lot more with this franchise if they kept it in an animated featurette like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't say 100% confirm that they are doing a sequel, but I feel very strongly.
Yeah, it'd be cool seeing a sequel and they've like got aliens this time instead of human characters.
It's funny if you go. I think it's that article. It might have been another one I was reading, saying that there is a potential for like an aliens versus Predator kind of version going on, and I think that honestly would be much better than the live action. Really overall enjoyed it, and I think the fact that it was broken up into 3 stories that came together at the end, I think that made it a little bit more malleable. Sometimes you watch a movie and you kind of like, even if you're enjoying it, sometimes there's a little bit of fatigue and you're just like,
they could have made it a mini series. It actually kind of felt like a mini series while you were watching it, like there was 3 distinct episodes and then you had your finale.
Yeah. Absolutely, and maybe that's something they look into as they move forward. But definitely for a starter show, like I said, the fact that they broke it up into 3, I thought like just made it a lot more easier to take in and didn't feel drawn out. You kind of at the point of each story, each one again action packed. Just like the amount of emotion that they were able to drive with very little dialogue, especially in the Sword. Anybody out there, they still had that little but they managed to work it into like the actual like orchestra and stuff like that. So they kind of transformed the original theme song. Definitely enjoyed it. At a 10 being the highest, what are you rating it?
Oh, an 8 or a 9.
Agreed.
Let's go 8.5.
I think 8.5 is definitely fair. I don't even think that's being generous. I think that's like an absolutely fair score.
Best thing I've watched on Disney in quite some time that's been animated.
I'm going to go with the same 0.5, and yeah, 100% best thing on Disney that's been animated in a long time, other than Bleach.
Well, it's not made by Disney, so
I guess this is true.
Yeah.
I'm going to say best thing I've seen on Disney Plus. I'm not going to say period, but
since Andor.
Andor. Yeah, I'd put it in my top 3 and recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, I recommended it to some people at work, and they came back to me and said that was the best animated movie I've ever watched.
Very nice.
That's good to hear.
People at Disney, especially in Hulu, do the Predator thing. This girl's some money right here. She's putting out the good word and spreading some love about Predator. Do you know what though? That again, to me, it's someone looking at you going like, that wasn't again familiar too much with the Predator franchise. That's good news, right? That means they've reached viewers and can interest viewers into this. So we're all about the Predator here. That's our quick little breakdown of that. With that, just gonna move on to I think this was inevitable rumor, which I believe has been confirmed at this point. Doomsday may be delayed from December 2026 to May 2027. Releasing such a blockbuster like Avengers movies in the winter season might be problematic.
Who would have thought?
Who would have
what's also problematic? Trying to film a movie without a finished script.
Okay, so that was going to be one of my questions, but like again, the words right out of my mouth. Like this is like, do you really think it's about it being problematic in the winter, especially with the good Christmas time break? Lots of people, like you'd be surprised how many people see movies during the Christmas time break. It's one of the most popular times to see films. So I'm calling bullocks on the winter being problematic. So agree that they don't have a finished script.
Yep. It's a huge undertaking. They had so many actors lined up for this. And they're probably trying to push it back so they can build their own studios in the US to not be charged so many tariffs on their film as well.
And yeah, we did discuss that on a previous stream, right? Where it's like, if those tariffs, because like they're still all up in the air right now, like this movie could be costing, what did we cost it out at? Like it was like
$1 trillion.
Like almost like $1 trillion.
An obscene amount of money, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to make that type of money back. And again, you all sorts of actors, and it's not just about like not just having the script. It's just like, you're paying these guys a lot of money. They're all going to want screen time. And then, of course, each one of their respective teams, like X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, they're all... It's a lot to fit in.
It's a lot to try and work with without a finished script as well.
Absolutely.
It sounds like they have no plan for this film at all.
I don't think so.
They're just like, oh, we've got Robert Downey Jr. That's it. That's all we need. Let's cast some actors for some other roles, and then we'll figure it out as we go.
To quote Ask a Ninja from like his review of Deadman's Chest from years ago, is just like, got a bunch of scripts, they put it in the shotgun, and then ow, and then they just paid some guy to go around picking up pieces of the script, taping it together, and be like, "This is what we got," you know. I think this movie is just too big of a mess. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I could see this movie being delayed like right to like July of next year.
I can see it being delayed an extra year on top of what they've already delayed it.
Yeah.
Easily.
Do you think at the end of the day this just might be too big of an undertaking?
Well, I mean, they managed to pull Endgame off.
Yeah, at the same time, like this is like
they had a solid plan for Endgame. They don't sound like they've got a good plan for this.
And like we'll call it triple the cast as well.
Yeah,
like, this is just absolutely out of control. I just got to pull up something on my phone here just because I want to. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait till I pull up the article because I spelt the guy's name just how it sounds instead of how it's spelt. But continuing with the MCU news here. We are talking. They have decided on their director for the X-Men movies, and it is none other than. Nope, that's not the right. We're not quite there yet. There we go. Okay, sorry, folks. We're not there yet. Remove like that. Well, that didn't quite work. Okay, let's try this again. Share screen. There we go. Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier has been tapped as director of the Thunderbolts. Director of the X-Men. Again, he was the director of the Thunderbolts. I'll give you like a little more perspective on this guy. I did take a look at him earlier. Be like, oh, like what else has he done?
I'd have to watch the Thunderbolts to give a good judge to what he'd be able to do with the X-Men, but don't have high hopes for this.
He has a whole lot under his belt, but the only other thing that I recognize on his whole resume is Skeleton Crew.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Thunderbolts flopped. Skeleton Crew did not do well until after it was completely released.
Yeah.
I know you just said you'd have to give some second thoughts on not second thoughts isn't the right word, but maybe see the Thunderbolts before you kind of made a solid decision on this.
Yeah, because it is another team-up style movie, so see how it does it to make a good judgment.
So despite your taste in film and movie, do you think it's a wise decision to tap somebody that directed a flop?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No. I guess at the same time, maybe there should be given some consideration to like maybe, like I said, we haven't seen it. Maybe he did actually direct it good and the story was crap.
Yeah.
Or dialogue
that could
was
be
crap.
The case.
Definitely this is kind of like a wait and see kind of thing. And I guess a lot will ride on again the success of Doomsday and Secret Wars.
It's also going to heavily rely on who they cast to portray the X-Men characters as well, I think, for me.
Yeah, 100% on board with that. And what I'm really hoping is after Secret Wars, we're not stuck with the original cast for too long. Like, I want to see them like a one and done and just finally have somebody new, just because they're all past their prime and they just need to move on with something new. And which speaking of Secret Wars and whether it does good or bad, Kevin Feige is planning to leave Marvel Studios after the release of Avengers Secret Wars. I know we've talked about this a couple times in a couple of our past streams when talking about like mistakes of the MCU, stuff like that. Secret Wars, would we agree this is probably the best time for him to exit?
Yeah, do we know where he's exiting to?
I have a funny feeling he will still be with Disney. I think he will be more like of an executive, maybe just dealing with money and stuff like that. You know, I do think he had his run. I don't think it would be wise for him to stay past Secret Wars. Maybe just my opinion. I think the good faith invested into him by the fandom is running really thin at this point, and maybe it is time to find somebody else to helm the ship. David Gilmour, we're looking at you. Not David Gilmour. You know who I'm talking about. Gilmour from Andor. So yeah. So we're in agreement. Maybe it's time for him to say goodnight.
Step away, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Always known to, as George Costanza would say, no one to go out on a high note. Do you know, film industry, the MCU obviously should have a lot to be grateful for Kevin Feige's services.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No doubt of that. And whatever he pursues after Secret Wars, if he even gets to Secret Wars, you know, lots writing on Doomsday. We wish him the very best of luck, of course. Okay. Now to a little story I never really thought I'd be doing here on the podcast, and we thank everybody for sticking around still. Oh,
the new
that's
Avengers.
Right. It's the new Avengers, and that's his smiley face. Sorry, it took a second. I had to turn my head sideways. You better believe it. So, Neon Tardis, hopefully you get a little chuckle out of this story. This is a story I heard on the radio while going to work the other day. As the kids would say, it went viral. So it's just like, I just had to check out this video. And all I can say is this story stinks. And take a little... We'll take a little look at this. Maybe half a second here.
And we were walking down an aisle, and there were like two guys that walked up next to us. You know, Peyton like walked away. My wife walked away for just a second, and they were like snickering to to themselves or something, and like. I didn't really think much of it, so I'm just looking at the candy aisle trying to decide what candy I want. And he walks by and gets like inches from me and just rips one, like farts like this far from me. That's disgusting to say. I can't even believe I'm having to say this, but he did. And about that time, Peyton walked up, like didn't witness what happened, but like seconds later, and I'm like upset and I follow after him. I was like, is there a reason? You were just so disrespectful to me.
Called you an idiot.
Come here. And he never felt so dehumanized.
Not only did he fart on her, when she confronted him, he said, just walk away, you fucking bitch.
This is Albertsons, by the way. And go to the customer service to be like, hey, this just happened. I was just disrespected in your store and called names like several times. And security guard went and talked to him, came back, and they all just kind of looked at us and was like, well, can't y'all just leave?
Right?
Is this a standard for society?
I 100% agree with Tardis. Like, how weak are these people? Just move on with your life.
Yeah.
She's literally bawling her eyes out about someone having a little snicker to their friend about her. Just move on with your life.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Like, where are we in society? Like, yeah, I get it. You got ripped on. Like,
if I had seen that, I would have laughed as well. And if, let's just say, I'm at work at one of these places and someone like her comes up to me to complain about this happening, I don't know if I could look at her without laughing.
That's what they're laughing.
Yeah. I'm so sorry this happened to you, ma'am.
As someone who grew up with like 3 siblings, like, I don't know how many times, and like, yeah, it's a stranger, but still, like, you know what? We've all been farted on at some point, and like, and to be honest, like, to go online and like
and complain like that,
like, you know, like, you've done yourself a worse service by going onto the interwebs and sharing with the world. Like,
no one would have known that you were farted on if you didn't make this video.
And no one's ever going to know who this guy was that farted on her. But guess what?
Legend.
Now, yeah, for the rest of your life, you're the girl that got farted on in the candy aisle.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
I'm glad you showed me that. That was a good laugh.
I'm glad here at Team Said we can provide all sorts of laughs and toots for everybody. Thanks for bearing with the butt end of a joke on that, everybody. I got to ask myself sometimes, like, was that even real? But just unreal. We got through the fart story. I'm so glad. Next on the docket, we gone from someone getting stinked on to someone kind of causing a stink. So there's been a lot of press in the last week or two, but when is Matt Reeves going to finish the script for the Batman Part 2? A lot of James Gunn coming on being like, hey, leave this guy alone. You know, he's working on his craft. You know, it'll get here when it gets here, blah, 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 blah. Then the, you know, there was a speculation date of earlier this week. And this one was shared by My Time to Shine. Hello. This is what it has to say. You guys can stop asking James Gunn about this now. The Batman Part 2 script is in. Filmmaker Matt Reeves revealed that he and co-writer Mattson Tomlin have turned in the draft, sharing an image Friday of them with the script. But you can ask Gunn about who's writing the Batman Brave and the Bold movie, because we're not convinced there is one. So a little bit of shade been thrown there by Team Reeves. So my initial thoughts on this is, like, you know, because everyone's like, oh, it's going to start filming next year in 2026 and be released for October 2027. This is like, this is just first draft, right? It's got to go to James Gunn. It's got to go to Zaslav. There's a third guy. Any one of them, and believe me, it's going to happen. And go, revise this, revise that. Anyone who thinks this is coming
redraft
out,
this. We need more notes for that.
Exactly.
It's like they've got a good plan over at DC this time.
This, like I said, 2027 October. This could be like another 2 to 3 years at this point. Again, throwing a little bit of shade at James Gunn. Don't know if that's the best decision for Mr. Matt Reeves to be making. and I'm curious about what's your thoughts on, or chances, like give me like a percentage, 0 being low, 100% being highest. At the end of the day, James Gunn was just putting a little goodwill forward, just so whether he makes an excuse at the executives like Zaslav or not, to be like, sorry, we're just going to go with my Batman in the end.
Oh, I reckon there's about a, let's just say 70% chance that he's going to do that. He loves his own work.
I'm agreeing with you. That was a lot higher than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, yeah, they're just going to play games with us, and we're still never going to go see a Batman Part 2. Now,
Yeah.
James Gunn was asked earlier in the week as well, is there a possibility that Pattinson could come over and be your new DCU Batman? He said, it's not like there's no chance of it happening at all. Yes, we have had discussions about this. Anything can happen in the DCU. What's the chances you think they're actually just going to steal Pattinson, or do you think they're just? Do you think they're going to actually go forward with this movie? B, if they don't, do you think they'll steal Pattinson, or C, do you think they'll just like have their own Batman?
They're going to slash it all, I reckon. They'll have their own Batman. They won't make another movie with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I'm definitely
recast.
on board. Yeah. And just no Matt Reeves at all. Maybe, who knows? Maybe a little bit of involvement on being a producer or something, but like agreed that his movie's completely scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, who wants to see a Clayface movie, right? Okay, fair enough on that. We'll move on to a movie that that might not be made to a show that might be getting an award. One of the best awards that you could get for the industry. Variety says that Andor Season 2 may surpass Mandalorian Season 2 to become the most nominated Star Wars series of all time with the Emmys.
Why do they have to put a picture of Pedro Pascal there for this article?
I know, we just because he's looking.
They could have just used Mando's helmet.
For sure. We could have found another picture of This Is True or Jack Black or
anything.
Anything. Again, we're both Andor people. I'm wondering if this was the article. Sorry, let me see if this was the one that showed the one he's up against. Commander Studio to Selena Gomez, page 14 possible Emmy records milestone is in sight.
Do we know what it's been nominated for?
Well, let's see.
Because Rings of Power was nominated for an award, which was Outstanding Writing.
Oh boy! Oh, that better.
Don't know
not
who made
get
that decision.
Well, if this thing not gonna chance the internet breaking here on the because it's starting to see some circles come up.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Half a second here. Okay. Not what's nominated for definitely best costume design. I think I read something about best writing earlier, best directing.
That's good.
14. Yeah, covers a lot. I would think
costume design was definitely something I thought it would get nominated for.
100% on that. And I'm just trying to think of like some of the shows that came out this in the last year. I know Prime had a couple of bangers. One second.
Well, season 3 of Reacher wasn't bad on Prime.
Yeah, so I hope they managed to clear the air.
To clear the air,
Yeah. It wasn't Severance. I know Severance was huge last year. And Sinners was until this year. I could see Andor running away with all sorts of awards. I know the fandom, the Star Wars fandom, the fandom menace would probably shit themselves, to see Andor do that well. I would think if it does, besides being really, really good for Kathleen Kennedy, who does not seem to be stepping away as soon as it's apparently she still has six whether it's movies or shows, it's still 6 of them in the works.
I knew it. She's not leaving for ages.
No. And although, things have been signed and such, maybe they do bring back Tony Gilmore. Is that it? I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Gilroy. Thank you. Maybe they do bring back Gilroy for another Star Wars feature. Maybe not a movie, but
would be
something.
nice.
Absolutely. I think he's still the best thing to happen to Star Wars since the original trilogy. Well, food for thought. We do wish everybody in the world of Andor the best with their nominations. And yeah, I think they deserve it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Be better than Pedro Pascal. They really, really did. And, they worked against a lot of people who doubted, right? Papa said to admit, I wasn't impressed with that first couple, but they made me a believer again, and you were faithful right from the beginning. So good for you. Good for you, Leonard, but bit of a slow burn at the beginning. Okay, we're getting into our last couple of the night here. Where do I want to start with this? I'll start off with this one. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The magic side of the MCU will reportedly have a sinister future, be very demonic, and something out of a Del Toro fever dream, which will be nothing like the Frankenstein trailer that we saw. That said, guess who's getting the magic suit? I lost the picture earlier of the magic suit. But Miss Riri Williams from said Ironheart show will now be having a possessed magic suit. Spoiler alert, she steals part of the cape by chopping it off with a laser in the 3rd episode. Sorry, spoiler alert. Not that anyone cares.
Oh no, you ruined it for me.
I've ruined it for you.
Now I don't have to watch it.
Thoughts on a magical iron suit?
It's dumb. Dumb idea.
Agreed.
It's
just
not
the way
cool technology. It's just recycling an idea that already exists in Marvel.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about some of her gripes. You saw the first 2 episodes. I watched 3. She should probably be put behind bars for the amount of felons she's committed in the first few episodes there. The army and the FBI and all of that seem to be right on top of Tony Stark. Iron Man
at
1,
all points.
at all points. And this is just like, some college student, right? Like, or university student.
She's just building this at school.
Yeah. Got one in my backyard. I just, seriously, This is like just some of the weakest, dumbest writing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the dialogue. It's hard to listen to.
Oh, are you okay if I spoil something for episode 3?
Yeah, please spoil away.
The neighbor, the geeky white neighbor dude. He is not who he appears to be.
Okay.
He is. I'm going to say the name right. Is it Jebediah Stay?
Oh no.
From a box of scraps. It's him.
Oh no.
He explains it that there's like, oh, the plane wreckage thing. It was like a cover up story and blah 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 blah. And now I look like this, and I'm just like, oh, we already did that one. The army would not dare to had the independent black one. That's right. Maybe they need to get the General Flynn in there, something like that. That was like another thing too. Like, this show. I think joked about it earlier. I just felt like all it was missing was like written directed by Spike Lee. Make your point about the humor that you said earlier.
Yeah, the humor in it feels like it was written 5 years ago.
Yeah, the show's been delayed.
It feels like they delayed this.
It was totally delayed, and this like crap stuff with jokes that aren't relevant anymore.
Yeah,
should have put the girl on there that got farted on. Yeah, the AI girl in the suit is just plagued with all sorts of LGBTQ issues.
There was a scene that I laughed really hard at. There was this person here. They were typing super fast on the computer because they had to do something really quickly in episode 2, but their nails were so long. I'm like, how are you getting away with this?
This is true. I once had a coworker who had those nails, and my question to them was, how do you go to the bathroom? How do you wipe? And they were like, actually, I had to take them off because I couldn't. So we do have our LGBTQ trans representative, and do you know what? Like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, like if this is your life, that's your life, right? I'm a big boy. I'm an adult. Make your decision. I want to see how I can put it politely. This is a quote like someone I knew back in high school said. It's like, okay, so pardon Papa says language here. It's just like, you want to be gay? Be gay. Why do you gotta be such a fucking fag about it? Like it's just like, like why can't you just, hey, you can live your life, but just still be a fucking normal person, right? I hear it all over the radio, especially right now in like Toronto this weekend's the beginning of all like the death marches and the pride, and like right away, like when they start talking, like the music comes on, and it's like, hey, it's gonna be a party. It's just like, why can't you just be like, hey, we're having a party today? Like, I don't know. Do you think decisions like this is part of the reason the viewership has not been good?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that character's not a very significant member of any team, right?
This is true. It's a significant part of the show so far.
It seems to be their whole character is like, I type on computers and I'm fabulous.
Absolutely. I wonder. I'm gonna try. Look at me and like Googling something in real time here.
Yeah, it seems very shallow character writing.
There we go.
Like they're all just stereotypes.
And do you know that does no favors for anybody in this world. There we go. And I know you're not a wrestling person, but for anybody who is watching right now, my question to them is, whoa, that's the wrong button. Almost messed up everything there. Why did they cast Carlito the wrestler as the main bad guy and as the Red Hood?
Yeah, he does look like the main bad guy.
I was just like, do you like
turn around? I want to see his back.
Yeah,
Make sure he
right.
doesn't have all those weird scars and stuff.
Kind of reminiscent of the little neck thingies Tony Stark had first Iron Man. Yeah, but yeah,
where he was
that
getting
totally
poisoned by the arc reactor.
exactly. That totally it distracted me the whole show. I was just like, it's Carlito. Where's this apple that he spits on everybody? So at the beginning of the week, as always, whenever something new comes out, that some type of represented show on Disney Plus, we get to the Rotten Tomatoes, and just want to make sure I got the right one up. Everyone gonna make Rotten Tomatoes account right now and rate 5 stars. 71% Rotten Tomatoes, 70% fresh by the crowd. And of course, later to find out within days of this being premiered. This is my last little slide there. Rotten Tomatoes closes their ratings as the fans drop to 32%.
What was the last thing they did that on?
Might have been Snow White.
Yeah, I think it was Snow White.
And of course, all for the rest of the week, all you got, people just can't stand, as a
they're just review bombing it.
Yeah, just because she's a black woman and all that stuff. It's like, no, you guys are writing shitty material that nobody wants to watch.
These actors should be the ones that are getting really mad about it as well.
Yeah.
They need to do better for these type of characters.
They absolutely do. And most actors, usually when they are offered a role, they, like any respectable actor, will read the script before they go in. And say, yeah, this is something I definitely want. Well, it
would have been a big break for anyone in this show as well.
This is true. Not too sure how true it is with Riri Williams, because wasn't she the Black Panther? Or is that the other one, Shuri, I guess?
Yeah.
But
I think they're different actors.
Yeah, that's right. They are different actors, but she was still with the Wakandans, with the Wakandan tech and all that stuff. You figure that would have given her a little more insight into the world, their importance, and the being there for everything, like how important it is to do good and not just you know what. And at the end of the day, right, she's like, I'm just trying to do this to make my suit and stuff, just gotta commit these crimes against, like, you were at Wakanda. I'm sure you have a contact, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to help you.
Yeah, it's funny. Like in the intro, she was saying, first responders would be able to get to places faster. Same with police for crimes. I'm like, but you're committing crimes to make this happen. Kind of defeats the purpose.
Just absolutely brutal. I do feel bad for you that you still have episode 3, and then I feel bad for us that we still probably have
6 more episodes.
Yeah, 6 of those episodes,
depending on how big it is.
How far down at do you think the is at 32% now? How far down that Rotten Tomato meter do you think it'll wind up before the end of the series? Or do you think they shut it down altogether?
I think they'll shut it down altogether.
Agreed.
If it starts to drop below 30%, they'll probably just be like, no, this is just turned off.
Turn it off. Yeah. Maybe it'll also affect how much screen time she gets in the upcoming Doomsday and Secret Wars as well. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking forward to the show and not looking forward to anything about it. And well, I'm looking forward to one thing is when it's all over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. That's kind of like a little mini review on Ironheart so far. Again, honestly, the only reason I'm watching it for so we can talk about it with Tardis, all that. I wouldn't be. It wouldn't go on my Disney Plus list otherwise. But,
it is kind of funny, but not in the way that they were intending it to be funny.
Yeah, it's not funny, haha, funny. It's funny.
It's like, this is. God. Yeah, I can't believe they put this in a TV show. They brought it out.
100% on that. All right, I guess with that, it kind of closes out some of the discussion there with a whole bunch of great topics. We do, as always, appreciate everybody joining us today. Had a blast. What do you got happening for your week, Miss Lantern?
I'm gonna watch Akira.
Give me a
top of the list.
Maybe I'll join you on that one. But for sure, it's definitely a really, really good one, and it's what they call the granddaddy, the one that really kind of really made everything take off. And then I get back to saving away waiting for that tax return and good stuff.
I'm gonna start buying up some pieces for my computer.
Nice. Easier than buying a $1,000 Xbox.
Yeah. Not really, but better value than a $1,000 Xbox.
There you go.
And it's fun building computers too.
Well, I did watch Henry Cavill break the internet when he built his. It does look like a lot of fun. I remember putting a barbecue together for my parents when I was younger. They were there at work and they came home. I was like, hey, look at all these extra pieces I came with. All right. So I don't think anybody wants me building them a computer. I probably have to go with a PS6 or a $1,000 Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to wind up with some tinfoil rabbit ears on the computer and a whole bunch of missing pieces. Other than that, we got some Neon Tardis tomorrow. Again, time zones. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK time,
5 a.m. Australia time.
You get your didgeridoos out, folks, and come out early. And again, Podcast Patti, The Resonator, Technotions, Neon Tardis, and of course, our co-host Brass Lantern. All their descriptions, all their links to their socials are in the descriptions. Check them out. We appreciate all their hard work. This never is a one-person show. This is like everybody coming together to make it work. We appreciate it all for sure. So with that,
and thanks to everyone who joined us in the comments too. That's really good of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of fun in the comments today. Yeah, it was definitely a good showing for sure. Again, wish you safe journeys, safe passage wherever you may be coming from, where you may be going to. Yeah, well, I'll totally screw that up, but it's late at night anyways. But again, Lantern, appreciate you coming on, and appreciate everybody else coming on. And make sure you all have a good night. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. And for those who are going to join us on Neon Tardis tomorrow, we look forward to seeing you too there. Wish everybody a great night. Ciao, everybody.
Podcast Pad. Technotions. The Resonant. Brass Lantern.
Papa says.